Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good afternoon. How are you? Hope you are well. Welcome to this show. This is another fantastic show about to happen just now. Karibu sana kwa hii show kali, show fiti, show kali, show yako ndio hiyo tu imeanza sasa hivi. Welcome to this show. I'm your host, Jakes, the moderator. This is Afric 24. Where is this finding you? But I hope it's finding you quite okay. I hope it's finding you quite well. All right. My name is Jax, the moderator, and this is your show. This is your evening show, and it's another one. Another hot one, another hot one. It's a new one, it's a good one, it's a better one. All right. Thank you for tuning in to this show that is about to kick off just now. I hope you are well. Are you okay? I'm well. I thank God for you, and I thank God for keeping us alive and well up to this particular hour. All right. I hope you are fine. I'm fine. I'm doing quite all right. Nijuze unantazama ukiwa wapi. We have another show great and awesome for you, ladies and gentlemen. Karibu kwa hii show. Karibu kwa hii show. Nijuze unantazama ukiwa wapi, tuning from where, let me know where are you. I'm here to give you another awesome show. All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for making this your number one interesting show. All right. Asante tu sana. I have a great one. I have a great one. I have a great one. I tell you, in Kenya, you don't blink because where mambo ni mengi ambayo hutokea. Vitu ni kibao ambao hutokea hapa nchini, and you have to be really awake and alert to always make sure you don't miss out on anything. Where today I have another one. Now it started several weeks ago, and I told you this one will not just go without some fireworks in it. And now they met today. Who am I talking about? The President and Justice Martha Koome. Well, the executive and the judiciary met. Of course, the legislature was half represented. We didn't see everybody joining in, but where I am telling you, Nikugwang Kumoto, it's becoming interesting even as we go on. I don't know what you make about the meeting. I don't know what you make about Ruto meeting Martha Koome. Now, when they meet like this, what does it signify? All right. We know that when we have disputes, even electoral disputes, both especially presidential, it's the one that is taken to the Supreme Court. When we have disputes, we normally go to the Supreme Court. The one who presides over that court is the Chief Justice. Her, together with Madam Mwilo, Chief Justice Mwilo, were there in that meeting. So that is to say, both the head and the deputy were present in that meeting. Interesting enough, this is one meeting that Raila Odinga had told them not to have. It's a meeting that many had cast aspersion. If it happens, it will send a dark cloud. Of course, how do you expect for the president to dictate how the courts should rule his cases or should rule matters brought before the case in his favor, or something like that? So it is something that was interesting to see today happening. Despite all the warnings, despite all the the aspersions that were cast against the meeting, they still met. All right. And that's what we are going to discuss tonight, among many other topics. I don't know if you have heard there are a number of children or students or pupils who haven't joined Form 1. Hey, it is shocking. You still need to stick around and hear about that. There is a lot, including Raila Odinga defending Azimio. There is a lot. I'll be telling you what that is and what that means. So you really need to stick around. I have great conversation about to happen here at Afric 24. Consider subscribing to Afric 24. Make this your number one channel in as far as such content is concerned. Of course, we are so sorry for the last, I think, 2 days now. we didn't have a show for you, but now we are back. Sorry, I was slightly under the weather, but now I'm of good health and I'm back for you. All right, I'm back for you, and I'm sure you are back with me on the show. All right, in the show rather. I'm sure you are there. I see the numbers are rising. Asante sana wewe ambaye unajiunga nasi kwa show. Naona numbers zikipanda tu taratibu. Asante sana. Unapoingia fanya vipi? Like hii video. All right, like hii video, like hii video. Let me know where this is finding you. Let me know where this is finding you. Ndio tu nimeanza show. Ndio tu nimeanza show, wacha nijue unanipata ukiwa wapi. Where is this finding you? Where is this finding you, ladies and gentlemen? All right, I know you are well, I know you are good. Unapoingia ingia na kulike the video, like hii video hapo kwa YouTube, like hii video hapo kwa Facebook. Wacha tuwe na nice time, wacha tuwe na a very noble decent conversation. Tutakuwa na conversation moja kali, conversation moja fiti. Hii ni yako wadau. This is for you. This is your show. Of course, this is the show where you come in and we have a very cogent conversation. Here you come in and we have a lot we discuss, we share, we know, we go around issues that affect our country. And top on the table, top on the deck, what we are discussing is the meeting between Ruto and none other than Martha Karua. Martha, did I say Karua? My goodness, it's Martha Koome. Well, sawa. I know. But karibu sana kwa hii show. We are good. We are ready to go. What do you make of the meeting? What do you make of the meeting? What do you make of Raila saying these two guys shouldn't meet, yet they have met? Raila has said categorically that meeting ought to have happened in a neutral ground. It happened in State House. That meeting ought to have involved more stakeholders. It did not. It only involved the executive with members representing it, the legislature with a few members representing it, judiciary the same, and the only person who came because she represents the Council of Governors was none other than who your guess is good, Waiguru. She was there. But where? Wadau. The topic discussed is another interesting one. They were discussing about corruption. Now, I'll be playing the clip. I want you to see the faces inside there. The ones discussing about the corruption matter. The guys who today sat down to discuss about corruption matters. These are guys who have been called by the EACC office in matters related to corruption. These are guys who, if you go back in history, there are syndicates that they have been mentioned in. But today, they were the ones helping the judges kungamua swala sugu la corruption. And you know what? They have even given a timeline of 30 days. In 30 days' time, a report should be tabled on how best, 60 years into our independence, we're still asking ourselves, how best should we tackle corruption? Should it even be a conversation? In any case, it's a crime. Should we even discuss it? Should we even be discussing it? There are people who are missing in that, because if truly it was about corruption, we ought to have seen some guys there who are very important. Very important. The DCI should have been there. Yeah, the Inspector General of Police should have been there. I don't know, but maybe the fact that one Mr. Kindiki was there, maybe he represented the other fraternities. I'm not sure, but we'll be looking at that. The EACC chairperson should have been there, I'm sure, but where? It's another good one. Hope you are doing fantastic. Hope you are doing well. Let us have a decent conversation. Let us have a decent show. This is a Freak 24. This is your show. This is the show you have truly come to enjoy, a show you have truly come to love. Each time napofikia hii masaa, wadau mnajaja na mnakuwa na show moja ange kama hii. Karibuni sana kwa hii show wadau. Let me tell you something. You know what? Hii show inakufikia kwa sababu wewe umeipenda. Na unaipenda kufanyia vipi? Kwa kuilike, kwa kusubscribe to Afrique 24. Ikikupendeza, guza like, all right? Okay, I'm about to begin the show by playing the clips that made headlines. Yeah, there is a lot you need to know. There is a lot we need to discuss. Man, over 300,000. 300, yes, you heard me right. 300,000 students have yet to join Form 1. Not 30, not 30,000, not 300K. If that's the trend, next year it will be 600,000. And now only class 8 joining Form 1. What of those who didn't join grade 7? Do we have the figures? Yes, 300,000. Lakini zaidi ya yote, karibu sana kwa show. This is how we roll it, even as I invite my panelists. Listen to this, ladies and
State House in Nairobi, where the contentious meeting between President William Ruto and Chief Justice Martha Koome took place today, with the heads of the three arms of government pledging to promote the independence of institutions as aspired in the Constitution. But a statement from State House gave no indication as to whether the specifics of the relentless attacks on the judiciary by President William Ruto were discussed, particularly his repeated allegations that judges were sabotaging projects of his government. Chemutai Goin has more.
As father, to work together for the benefit and in the interest of the people of Kenya.
As has become the norm at State House, President William Ruto offered the opening word of prayer, then began a contentious meeting that had been preceded by hostile rhetoric, with President Ruto leading weeks of a ceaseless assault on a judiciary he called corrupt. And so they gathered in a semi-formal horseshoe formation, with President Ruto positioned at the head of the half circle, giving the sitting arrangement an ironic arrowhead tip. Attorney General Justin Muturi, Solicitor General Shadrach Mose, and Interior CS Professor Kithure Kindiki joined President Ruto in the executive attendance list. Speaker Moses Wetangula and the National Assembly clerk took the roll call for the legislature, while Chief Justice Martha Koome, Deputy Chief Justice Philomena Mwilu, and the Acting Chief Registrar Paul Ndemo represented the judiciary. The meeting took place behind closed doors, with a statement pointing out that the gathering was convened in response to a request of the judiciary to deliberate on approaches to fight corruption and facilitate a seamless delivery of services to Kenyans. According to the statement, President Ruto said there will be no sacred cows, whether in the executive, judiciary, or legislature, in the fight against corruption. The statement did not, however, shed any more light on the pronouncement that preceded the meeting, some of them that had questioned decisions of judges and rulings of the law courts.
We support the independence of the judiciary, but corrupt judicial officials working with those who vested interests that are benefiting from money stolen from NHIF, who want to perpetuate judicial tyranny and judicial impunity. We will deal with them. We will fight with them. We will not allow them. They will not go far.
He might have received reports because we have the various machineries and agencies that are charged with the responsibility of correcting information. And we would like to engage him so that he can give us that information. Because we all have a responsibility of solving our problems in this country. We all recognize corruption is endemic, it is a problem, it is unacceptable, it is condemned, it is actually a criminal offense.
The 4.5 hours long meeting said to be reportedly cordial, with participants acknowledging that corruption had permeated all the arms of government, threatening the much needed transformation of the country.
Watu wachache, wawili watatu, wameenda kotini, wakahongana kotini, mpango hiyo ikasimamishwa, barabara ikasimamishwa, universal health coverage inasimamishwa, mambo ya housing inasimamishwa. lazima tuulizane, lazima tuwe na mjadala.
At the meeting, this was seemingly not mentioned, as the corruption allegation was distributed not just to the judiciary, but all arms of government. A resolution reached that within 30 days, each arm of government submit proposals to the National Council of the Administration of Justice, which brings together all players in the criminal justice system on short-term, medium-term and long-term measures to deal with the vice. The president is also said to have committed to respect the rule of law, despite his initial threat to defy orders he said was sabotaging government programs, pushing the Chief Justice to sound a warning that such actions would result in anarchy and a constitutional crisis. The statement was also silent on the question of decisional independence by judges, but instead indicated a promise of goodies through the appointment of more judges and an increase in the judiciary's budgetary allocation. Presumably based on CJ Koome's wish list, the executive and the legislature pledged to facilitate the recruitment of 25 additional judges of the High Court, recruitment of 11 new judges of the Court of Appeal, and also channel resources towards vehicle leasing program to facilitate its transport needs. After weeks of constant shelling from the executive, the judiciary walked through the open gates of State House today to a meeting that was broad on generalities but shy of specifics. The issues in contention were seemingly avoided if the official statement is anything to go by. No mention of bribery or sabotage, as State House and the judiciary settled for a rather ambiguous ceasefire statement. Chemutai Goins.
Sorry for that. They now met the president and of course the Chief Justice. Their meeting is a very interesting indicator. Now, this is a president who, in one or another, wants almost everything that he wants to succeed, or rather must go through, whether people like it, whether they have issues with it. But hey, somehow it has to pass. So the only roadblock ambayo ilikuwa inamsumbua, the only challenge, the only mishap he was only encountering was judiciary. This is an institution that gave a block to so many things that he had initially begun. This is an institution, yeah. The Justice Center is where that many of the things that Ruto was willing to stand on were crumbled down from the center. Look at this. It's here that the CASs were turned null and void. It's here that the health bill was ilikuwa imesimamishwa, but now ilipewa a clean bill of health. Now it commences again. Here the housing levy was given a pause. Here the financial bill matters were discussed, among many other issues that were discussed in court. So the court seemed to be the thorn in the flesh. So what do? Attack it. Yeah, cast a passion to it, raise tantrums, say something about it, so that you create an attention. The attention was created. We discussed it here endlessly of how Ruto gave out the president, how he gave so many sentiments, how his MPs came bashing the judiciary, you know, bashing day after day, bashing the judges, bashing the courts, bashing the ruling. So Martha Koome equally came out trying to defend, you know, the judges, the court, the independency of the institutions that she had. Well, that still didn't work. So what happens? Wakaamua to tweet a ceasefire. So this ceasefire that they called on was for them to meet, to deliberate on matters that were hot, matters that were interesting, that ought to have been discussed. All right. But now, I'm sure you are able to follow the clip that I've just played. They today met. I was expecting probably in the meeting, the president would come and say, as much as this evidence that I'm having, I was to give it to the JSC, because that is the rightful body meant to discuss when there is an issue with either a judge or a ruling that, you know, has rubbed either the president or anyone wrongly. That's the body that has been set for the same. So the president didn't go there. So he decided to meet the president of the judiciary directly. So they meet today. The evidence is not produced. So what do they choose to discuss? Corruption. Yes, the elephant in the room, corruption, the monster, the giant, the pandemic, the cancer that robs us of all our resources. Yes, corruption. That's what they chose to discuss. Of course, they generalized it. They said corruption in the courts, corruption in the judiciary, corruption in the executive, corruption in the legislature. Then therein came the questions that many Kenyans are asking. Where were these demands and desires when cases were collapsing? Very important cases were collapsing in court. Where was these sentiments from the president? Why were they never echoed? Why? Because corruption, if corruption truly is the menace they wanted to discuss, there are cases that have collapsed in court, and these cases, many have been mad with corruption. Case in point, Kimwarel and Arol. One of the rulings that the judges gave is that it's not that there was no evidence. Get that right. It's not that there were no criminals. The criminals were there. It's not that there were no witnesses. The witnesses were there. But what happened? The prosecutor chose not to prosecute the case. So, because of that, she had to dismiss the case. The prosecutor failed to do his part. If corruption truly was a matter to be discussed, I'm sure that was a very important case that ought to have been properly executed. Was it executed? Your guess is as good as mine. It wasn't. This was a matter that raised public concern. This was a matter that many really wanted to see the end of this matter, especially Kimwarel and Arol. This is a matter that ought to have ended fairly, well, but this is a matter that just ended like that, with an anticlimax. It was so hyped of how billions were stashed and robbed from Kenyans, but where it ended with an anticlimax. No one is in jail. No money has been recovered. Nothing. The dams have not been constructed. It is a forgotten case. But we want to talk about corruption. We are not talking about the number of cases that collapsed immediately the president got into power, including his second in command. He had a pending case. We had him cast aspersion against Justice Minor. Yeah, Esther Minor for that matter. But where? Actually, he was equally missing in that meeting. He was missing. He wasn't there. But what do you make of that meeting? What do you make of that meeting? But even before I bring in my panelist, you remember this? Raila Odinga equally had said this meeting is not a fair meeting if it happens in State House. That's the official residence of the president. So this is the president dictating what he wants. This is not a meeting that was in favor of any other side. It was only in favor of the president. And no, at times the president is also represented in court. For example, during the BBI, the president was in court. For example, during any election issues, the president is taken to court, or the winner is taken to court. And of course, the winner is normally the president. The one who wins is declared the president. So if the president was the one sitting on this end, we didn't have the other side, the other members of the other side sitting in this particular meeting. And so Raila Odinga had an issue with it. But listen to what Raila Odinga had to say.
Leaders have questioned the agenda of the State House meeting, which they say risks eroding the independence of the judiciary. Azimio leader Raila Odinga is accusing the judiciary of compromising its role and threatening the country's democracy by agreeing to a meeting at State House, as Martin Munene reports.
Opposition Supremo Raila Odinga has condemned the meeting between the Chief Justice and President William Ruto, saying it erodes judicial independence. Odinga, speaking in Lamu County, any meeting between the president, if it must happen, should not be at the seat of the executive.
State House is the head of the executive, the seat of the executive. That's where the president will decide. if there's going to be a dialogue over issues of governance, the engagement should be held in a neutral ground.
According to Odinga, the meeting between the Chief Justice and the President will reverse against made and will bring the country back to old dark days when the President had control over the judiciary.
This means that the judiciary itself is being compromised by the deputy. The judiciary is being held hostage by the deputy. And we've seen this before. We saw it happen under the rule of Mr. Moi. And we have tried to caution the current Chief Justice not to go to bed with the executive.
Odinga calling on individual judges to stand against any attempts to sway their decision-making.
And we hope that the rest of members of the judiciary are not going to be compromised. We want the judges to remain firm and do their work in accordance with the law and the constitution of our country.
Siaya Governor James Orengo also reading from the same script. While speaking in Jem in Siaya County, the senior counsel condemning the meeting, saying it erodes the judicial independence.
She should learn from Maraga. Maraga was never intimidated. And he didn't plead for meetings with the president. The president is not above the law.
Orengo further stating that an independent judiciary is critical in the interest of democracy.
Any nation in the world that does not have an independent judiciary, whether you have the Pope as president, you cannot be able to have a truly democratic country. The independence of the judiciary is sacrosanct.
Martin Monene, Citizen TV.
Let's begin with our top story where Chief Justice Martha Koome on Monday held a meeting with the President William Ruto at State House Nairobi over corruption allegations raised against some judges by the head of state. In a statement shared to newsrooms hours after the meeting, the three arms of government promised to formulate strategies to deal with corruption in government within 30 days. This as Azimio leader Raila Odinga castigated the meeting, saying the judiciary is being held hostage by the executive. And as KTN's Emmanuel Tona reports, the government also promised to increase budgetary allocations to the judiciary to employ 36 more judges.
So we'll be looking out for that dialogue. We have written, and I believe His Excellency is going to give us an appointment, and we are ready to go anytime we are called.
After days of heated debate on whether or not it was right for Chief Justice Martha Koome to have dialogue with President William Ruto over the allegations of corruption raised by President Ruto against some judges, finally the CJ and the President had a meeting Monday that sought to, among other things, put an end to the sustained attack on the judiciary by President Ruto. In a statement sent to newsrooms by the State House Monday, the executive, legislature, and judiciary agreed to individually develop policies, guidelines, regulations, and legislative proposals to achieve the objective of fighting corruption, improving service delivery, and enhancing institutional accountability of all arms of government. The statement further adds that, quote, within 30 days, each arm of government will submit the proposals made to a forum of the National Council of the Administration of Justice, NCAJ, convened by Her Ladyship, the Chief Justice. The forum will provide a roadmap for the immediate, medium-term, and long-term measures to be undertaken. The executive and the legislature also promised to support the judiciary's request for additional budgetary support to achieve, among other things, the recruitment of an additional 25 judges of the High Court and the recruitment of 11 new judges of the Court of Appeal. Resources will also be provided to conclude the vehicle leasing program to facilitate the judiciary's transport needs. The president had for over 2 weeks engaged in an all-out war against the judiciary, accusing some of the judges of corruption after they slammed brakes on some of his projects, such as the Housing Levy and the Social Health Insurance Act.
Nani ajui hapa kuna ufisadi inaendelea mahakamani? Sio kama tunaelewana?
These threats and declarations are extremely serious and a monumental assault to the Constitution. It is also an assault to the rule of law.
Some members of the Judicial Service Commission, including Attorney General Justin Muturi, Deputy CJ Philomena Mwilu, Speaker of the National Assembly Moses Wetangula, the CS for Internal Security Professor Kithure Kindiki, and the Chairperson of the Council of Governors Anne Waiguru were among the leaders who attended the meeting held in State House, Nairobi. Already, the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya leader Raila Odinga has called out the president and the CJ for convening the meeting that he terms illegal.
If there's going to be a dialogue over issues of governance, they should be held in a neutral ground. But this means that the judiciary itself is being compromised by the executive. The judiciary is being held hostage by the executive.
All right. Now, that is what happened. And that is what is informing our conversation today. I'm sure you guys are interested to find out why this topic, why the thumbnail, and why are we saying that it's now almost obvious that the judiciary is in bed with the executive. That's the heading, that's the topic, and that's what we are discussing. Equally, I'm joined by Alex Media, and you as well can join us. How to join us is not that difficult. I'll show you how. Kwa hiyo comment umetumiwa hapo na all those channels you are watching us from: Mtembei TV, Leo TV, Afrique 24 TV, Kenya News 24, any channel ambao umeingia nayo, hiyo comment imeingia hapo. I think it will appear in a yellow format. That ndio unaguza. Ukiguza hiyo link inakutuma place inaitwa StreamYard. It will be so automatic. Unaguza, it opens another tab. That tab sends you to StreamYard. Ikishawaka, fanya vitu viwili kwanza: asha kamera, asha mic, alafu andika jina. Ukishaandika jina, unajikuta umeingia kwa show. Una click enter na unakuwa kwa studio. Unakuwa uko ange kwa show, kama jinsi ambavyo tuko mimi na bwana Alex kwa show. So do that and you will find yourself inside the show. We are discussing matters judiciary. We are discussing matters William Ruto, the president, meeting the president of the judiciary, the CJ herself, Martha Koome, Chief Justice herself. Well, I'm telling you, it's a meeting that we said shouldn't happen, many, and now it has happened. Now that it has happened, what do you make of it? From here henceforth, will you be trusting the judiciary? Some were even saying, even before they met, I trust. Someone equally said that them meeting just proved that these guys were working together even before. Well, I'm telling you, zile comments nimezipata leo zimekuwa very, very interesting. But I'll be interested to know what your sentiments are hapo kwa comment section, and equally, kama pia you can join us live as we have this very engaging and elaborate debate. This show, as I've always told you, no one is restricted here. Hautazuiliwa na yeyote yule, umekaribishwa. Usiogope, jiunge nasi. Don't be afraid to join the show. Usidhani issue kuna mtu specific. We don't have guests of honors. We don't have what do we call them? We don't have a very specific people who should join. No. You as well can join the show. All right. So join in the show. Let us have a conversation, just like Kip has done, just like Alex has done. This is not their show. This is our show. This is not their time. This is our time, because this is our country. We must have a conversation. Karibuni sana. Thank you so much. And as well, if you haven't subscribed to Afrique 24, kindly consider subscribing to Afrique 24, because here, here we unlock every story. Hapa tubagui, hapa tuegemei, hapa tunapakua story yoyote. All right. Thank you very, very much. Bwana Alex, good evening. How are you?
I'm doing good. I thank God.
I see you relaxed, umepozi. I'm sure you are quite ready for the show today.
I can say yes, I'm ready.
All right. Bwana Captain, how are you? Hope you're well.
I'm fine, sir. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic. I see you are equally good.
Yeah, very good. Tell us.
All right.
You are telling us that there is no rule of law in Kenya.
Let's see. Let's discuss. Let's see if there is still justice in Kenya. I want to begin with Bwana Alex. Alex, I want to ask you, from now henceforth, do you still believe in justice in Kenya?
I can say yes, I do still believe, but I don't believe in Koome. Koome is the person that is messing up the judiciary. So I cannot say the entire judiciary that I don't believe in it. I do believe because people who are committed to justice, but Koome should resign or should be fired so that we can get a person who is an attributor who can attribute for Kenyans' agitations. Right now, as is it, nobody can go to court. Nobody can go to court completely because now what has happened today has sealed a permanent confirmation that the executive and the judiciary are together. And once they go to bed together, Mr. Jakes, it is unfortunate that we don't have a neutral moderator. It's like you go to bed also like you are the moderator, and then you decide to take sides, which is not the thing, and you know it morally, it's not the right thing, and not only morally, you know, in terms of the way our constitution is, that the three arms of government, we have all of them as presidents. You know, the speaker is a very powerful person in this country. The CJ is a very powerful person in this country. He's the only one who can stop the president from doing what we call halabus. I think there's an name that Ahmed Nasiri used today that was funny, and I'm looking at it and looking at his synonyms, only to realize that he was castigating the CJ. So what I can say simply is, it is not right, morally, spiritually, nationally, Pan-Africanist. It is not right for what Koome did today. I think she is more of a fool than I think she will go down to be one of the worst we've had. And I think this thing that we say that should be given to women, gender balance is going to stop. We are going to stop it because gender balance is not helping us anymore, because she has proved to be somebody who is not, is gullible. I mean, I don't want to use those adjectives because you may even remove me from the show, because if I decide to use the adjective that I want to use against this woman, it will be bad. But what I can say
please, I beg you, let's not begin the show na those adjectives. We'll use them tukifika masaa fulani tu tutaanza kuzitumia. For now, allow us to go as we have started. Bwana Captain, what do you make of Hustler number 1, since I see your Hustler number 2? Hustler number 1 meeting with none other than Martha Koome today.
Jakes, where in our constitution does it say that all the arms of government should not sit down and discuss? Where is it written?
Nowhere.
Nowhere. So what happened today in State House, or today it is to sit today at the Jafika Sasita? Was it an offense?
It depends from which angle you look at it. By the way, please do the answering. Allow me to do the questioning.
No, it's just you to say yes or no. Was it an offense?
No, but that way you will change me to be a participant, and I want to moderate the show so that I'm fair. You know, you get it.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
So for me, I don't see if there is any problem when the CJ and the president met today on the other side of the government of the legislature or whatever to discuss the betterment for our people in Kenya. Only that if they discussed to suppress the rule of law against our people, that is where now we will start removing our sweaters and shirts and start fighting. If they discuss the right thing for the people of Kenya, like the thing of kuna kesi zingine zimekaa kotini 10 years, doesn't deserve that. If they discuss that waongezewe charges that they can speed up those allegations that the wananchi of Kenya wamepeleka kotini ikuwe inapelekwa faster, hiyo ndio vitu tunataka. Lakini mambo ya kwenda kusema nikisema huyu kuna corruption na mnasema hakuna kitu kama hiyo. Hapo sasa tutalimana vibaya sana. Na ni hapa tu kwa platforms. Not only this one, Africa and the others, we'll have to fight for the haki ya mwananchi. That is what I can say.
Bwana Alex, else. Captain says that there is nothing, and he's right. There is nothing that prohibits the three arms of government from one working together and equally even having a meeting. That one, there is no law against that. But when they meet, at times when they meet, of course, after the president has cast so many aspersions against the courts, against the judges, against rulings made, against things he has proposed to us, wananchi, what comes to your mind? Is it a meeting that, because they have met, we have seen the president attend meetings with the Chief Justice before. We have seen him being invited to meetings, and that didn't raise eyebrows. But this one specifically raised eyebrows. Why is that?
How are you?
All right.
So there'll be a care conference for you
So let me ask you.
next week, Tuesday.
Yeah, because the other guy was also asking you questions.
It's a check-in
Is it right for the CJ to meet the president?
They have been meeting before, but today's meeting, why is it so? Why did it even make news?
So we have it.
Who told you they have been meeting? You know that
every 3 months, or if anything changes.
The president has attended several functions that the CJ either has invited him. For example,
attending functions and meeting is two different things.
You call them?
And we must encourage people to attend functions, even if you want. After
all right. Now keep just one moment as Alex and sort out story Akelele on his end. When you look at the function today, it was well choreographed. We had the president, we had the Chief Justice, we had the Speaker of the National Assembly, we had the arm responsible with, can we say, interior. We equally had the COG, the Chair of Council of Governors. But they are missing were other important people who could have equally made this meeting truly a very objective meeting, if truly, as they say, it was about corruption. But my question number one is, corruption, it's a crime. Do we need the president to sit down with the Chief Justice to discuss about it? Why can't we just fight it? Because we have had so many caucuses, we have had so many meetings about corruption. How do we deal with corruption? Is it by meeting the CJ and the president? Is this how we fight corruption for starters?
Now, let me tell you, Jax. Jax, there is nowhere where it's written that the CJ should meet with the president to discuss this corruption. Corruption is a pandemic that is global. It's not only in Kenya. That's the first thing. The second thing is that corruption is not something that the president should discuss with Koome. There was more than that. The whole issue is Ruto is calling the judges, is calling out the judges who stopped some of his projects, that the pet projects that they saw that were wrong constitutionally. And you know, the work of the judge is to interpret the law. It is not to make the law, it's to interpret the law. The work of the people who make the law is the legislators. So if you bring a case before me and I interpret it according to the constitution, am I wrong? Why should you call me corrupt? Because I've just said no to you, because for me, this is the interpretation. You see, every judge has his own interpretation.
Correct.
Okay? Because they view the constitution differently. I saw Korir say that section CG what allows the president to meet with the CJ. I didn't disagree with him, but a lot of people who spoke said they disagree with the president. on this matter. So what we are saying is we must trend easily. Because let me tell you that if we don't have a judiciary that is neutral, it becomes difficult for the opposition to become opposition. How can you be in opposition when the judiciary, if anything happens, you are supposed to push the government, isn't it?
Yes.
That's the work of the opposition. And I'm in opposition right now. And I see that I can't trust Martha Koome. So if anything happens that is not good, I'll tell you that I will never go to Martha Koome because he doesn't seem to be neutral.
Now, I was looking at the tenure of Martha Koome. The tenure of a CJ is normally 10 years. So she'll be there for 10 years. She joined, or rather, she became the CJ in May 19th, 2021. So she'll be there until, if we work with the months, May 19th, 2031. Just 1 year to the end of the president, who will be then tenure, because the next election itakuwa 2027 and then the other one 2032. So retire 1 year before the next general election, just like Maraga retired and then she came in and of course had the opportunity to rule, or rather to make a judgment in the Supreme Court concerning the presidential petition. So that is to say, in 2027, she will be the Chief Justice who will preside over any electoral malfunction, malpractice, name it how you'd want to name it. She will be the one to preside over it. Now, as you have called yourself opposition, maybe you'll be government next time. But would you trust the process? Would you trust her ruling, given that she was not just even alone? She was there together with her deputy, Philomena Mwilo. I'm yet to find out how long she should be there. I don't know if her office has deadline. I'm not sure.
Justices who are not, they have no tenure. I mean, they stay there until they want to retire themselves.
All right. So for her, maybe she'll still be the deputy then, if she hasn't, if she doesn't have any other ambitions, either to run for presidency or any other office. She just wants to be the deputy chief justice. So will you trust the ruling they make then, if they are meeting the president now and having sittings, and at times they said it was a closed door meeting? The only people who are not in Kenya Kwanza are those guys who came from the judiciary wing. The only two guys, the only few guys, because every other person is from Kenya Kwanza. The Speaker of the National Assembly is from Kenya Kwanza. The COG, the Chair of Council of Governor, is from Kenya Kwanza. Kindiki is from Kenya Kwanza. The guys who met the judiciary today, it was literally Kenya Kwanza and the judiciary. So in 2027, we have the presidential petition in Supreme Court. Will you trust it?
I mean, we have said this. We will never go to court again. This issue of being told hot air, doing nini, I mean, we realize we don't have a thinking. We realize we don't have a chief.
Sorry, I'm not laughing because of hot air you have said. It's because it reminds me of someone who was
to Orengo. The language he used was not a legal. There's a legal language you use to despair things. But he used a provocative language that has become, you know, trending in social media and everywhere. So this issue of hot hair was not legal. The woman is incapacitated personally, and I think it did not meet the threshold to become a CJ. It's just because they wanted to let a woman for the first time to make history to become a CJ. But this issue of women gender issue, we are not going to consider it anymore. In fact, this woman should have died yesterday, and we should have buried her yesterday.
Death again?
Because the country is suffering.
Maisha
Have you
huwa
seen how
mnasema vitu
children? Have you
zinanipeanga
seen how the
uoga
children?
bwana. You guys.
Have you seen how children in schools are suffering? Children who
Ah.
wants to go to school are suffering.
Mm.
You know, it's very disrespectful for captain to stay on the phone thinking that akona simu nzuri kutuliko. Get out this man. If he is on the phone with his wife or girlfriend, you know
No.
what that nonsense.
Actually, I'm in text. I'm seeing what he's doing. It's for the good of the show. But let me ask you, Bwana, before I come even to captain, Bwana Alex. At one point, we saw
You know, you are calling me a name I don't know. I am Alex.
all right, let me call the new Hon. Bwana Hon, let me ask you something. Because Hon can be so many things, honorable, honor, and all. But Hon, let me ask you. When you look at Martha Koome, we cannot really say she came because of William Ruto. She was appointed, or rather, her vetting and everything happened during the tenure of the previous regime, and in fact, many praised her. You know, many really celebrated her. In fact, when she came into power, what was hot on her plate was BBI, and in fact, many would say, "We amechaguliwa because the president wants to have BBI come through." Unfortunately, that didn't happen. And I've heard you one time say it was a blunder of the handshake government. Do you still hold that position?
You know, when you are in your period, when a woman is in her period,
Really?
comes to announce the elections, she's not in her right mind. That woman was in her period. And we say
Really?
that
Let's go. Let's try to.
I think, Jakes, Alex, Honorable Alex, with all due respect, how did you know that the president of the court was in a period?
And is that a
because
matter we should
how do
discuss
you say
here?
hot air?
Really?
You know, there's a language you use as a person, as a president of the judiciary. There's a language you use. The language.
But
So
how do you
you
use
want to tell
that
us that
was
to
not.
you want to tell
mention?
us that Alex, you want to tell us that William Ruto was lucky to be the president of Kenya when the president was in a period.
The guy did not win any
President of the court.
election. Wacha hiyo jinga unatuletea hapa. The guy did not win any election. The guy
So
stole the
ni
election.
ujinga gani yangu yako ya kuwa rais wa kotini kuwa na period, ama yangu kukuuliza Ruto alipata hii kuchaguliwa ama kukuruliwa na kotini kwamba alishinda kwa sababu rais wa kotini alikuwa period? Is that what you mean?
But with all due respect to the ladies who are watching us, I don't
That is
think
not fair,
just
Alex.
a moment.
Because from my
With
side, from where I
due
sit,
respect
I
to all the
don't think
ladies
what you have
watching us,
said is correct.
The lady today disappointed the Kenyans. I'm going to castigate her, whether you like it or not.
It's okay. It's okay. But because of the ladies watching us, allow us not to go to some levels. I think it's quite okay. All right. Let's not go to some levels because we are almost saying that when they are having those blessed moments, that they behave weirdly or they make irrational judgments. That's what we almost want to castigate here, which I don't think is correct. But I know where you're coming from. I know what you are trying to bring home. But my question is, do you still hold this idea that the president, former president, erred in, because he's the one eventually who had a say on, because it was given names, eventually had a say who becomes the CJ? Do you think is still your position that the handshake regime then erred in appointing her as the CJ?
You know, she never scored enough marks. There were people who were ahead of her. Many.
Mm-hmm.
In fact,
Mm-hmm.
she was last.
Mm-hmm.
That was an error.
Uh-huh.
And the judgment of that handshake, we shall review it.
Uh-huh.
Tell our leaders that, you know, you erred during the appointment of the Chief Justice.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because that's a chair that
Yes,
should
yes.
be respected. It's not a chair that anybody can enter and do whatever she wants. And even and the captain anasema that why is it that the president cannot meet? They should not meet because they are opposing. They are the ones who are the arbitrator. If you don't understand the word arbitrator, Mr. Kip, go to school, go to primary. They educate you on that. Yes.
I see this situation really made you angry. But then again, Bwana Kip, at one point, Martha Koome, when will people really embrace her? It took time for people to begin to believe in the judiciary. One of the person who really brought commendable change and people still celebrate is one Chief Maraga. But before that, Nani had tried Kidogo, his predecessor. And maybe we felt that if we bring another one, it can only go higher. From where you see it, when you compare Maraga and Martha Koome, how would you rate them from where you sit as a layman?
Both are Linacom. Both are Linacoms. I'm not, there is no way. Both are Linacoms.
Wacha nisikize Kip, maoni yako ni yapi ukikompea Martha Koome na what do you call the Chief Maraga na Willy Mutunga, ukiwa compare wewe, how would you rate Martha Koome?
I think, Jakes, we have only to compare Martha Koome and Maraga because those are the immediate ones. The successor for Maraga is this woman, where Alex is complaining of periods, and I think Maraga stood his own side. What again? What's the problem?
Go on. Sorry, go on.
Because if we judge women basing on their biological, natural problems, then where are we heading to? Even some of us, we are here because of such body or biological things on women.
It's awesome. Yeah, let's go on.
For me, I take it to be so much unfair, Jakes. And as a moderator,
I've made a ruling on that, have I not?
And because for me, I oppose that thing, but you saw it, I'm ujinga, naambia ujinga unaleta juu nimekataa hiyo kitu. Let it be ujinga, but women should not be belittled because of the natural.
You are right. Let's go on. Now, when you compare them, what do you make of them? Martha Koome.
That's what I'm saying. Maraga was a bit little, was standing by his own side, was standing by the right, especially when he made the ruling that time that elections had a lot of malpractices and should be repeated. I think you remember that. That is only where I remember Maraga as a gentleman who stood by himself, and gave us a ruling that we have to go back to the ballot. Only that after going back to the ballot, whoever was to compete with the president by then ran away from the election. So Maraga was a bit gentleman, not like now the Chief Justice that we have right now. Because having that meeting with the president, which I don't take it to be negative, and I don't take it to be much positive, but from my side, I'm not supporting that meeting. I did not like it, but it has happened. We cannot change it. Let's wait for the rulings from the court. We will base on the meeting that has happened today, that this ruling is maybe happening because of the meeting or what. That is where we are going now.
Yeah. All right. Now, Bwana Mr. G, how are you?
I'm fine, sir. How are you?
Niko salama. Umeniambia uko safarini, umetokea ama bado?
Bado, hata safarini. Niko kazini.
Ndio naelewa, ndio nimetumia tu hiyo kama tu nini. But when uko tu kazini, kuweza kunijibu maswali mawili matatu. Moja, mkutano wa leo kati ya rais na jaji mkuu, maoni yako ni yapi?
Okay, I'm really disappointed with what happened today. Really disappointed. Kwanza, let me just go back. I think we had some petition in the court. Ile issue ya, was it issue ya NHIF ama there's an issue that was in the court, but I think it was early, late last month ambayo ilikuwa rule, and I think it was for the favor of the president, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, so when you look at such things happening, I think watu wameona they're intimidated, alafu fear imewaingia. That's why you found out that these are the same courts that had said it is unconstitutional, but because of that threat and everything about the president has been saying, wameanza kurule wakisema kuwa it is right, you see. So for them meeting today, in fact, it's very disappointed to many Kenyans, because kuanzia leo kesi zote zitakuwa tu zikipita hivyo hivyo. So it was a very big, it is just a mistake ambayo imefanyika ya.
Na umekuta nikiuliza bwana captain, kuanzia leo will you be trusting what happens in court, given that this is the president of the Supreme Court and she rules, or rather she sits and presides over matters that are serious in our country, including the presidential petition?
I won't.
Sorry.
I won't. I'm not expecting anything better again. There's nothing. There's nothing. You know, that's why I say that this woman, alikuwa, I call her a hypocrite. Why? Because we know that the judiciary, because it's supposed to be independent. Yeah. Judiciary should it's supposed to be independent. How comes yeye anaenda kukaa na president? What were they discussing pale nini State House? And yet he has to be independent, anafaa awe neutral. So for kuanzia leo, do you think that atakuwa neutral? There's no way she will be neutral, kwa sababu ashaambiwa kuwa I want my things to go ahead. And okay, this guy alikuwa anaona ni kama project zake zinazuiliwa. Project zake ambazo anataka kufanya zilikuwa zinazuiliwa na court. Sasa wakati ameitwa, obviously they have discussed na wameagree kuwa from today your project hazitastopiwa. We will always work together as a team for the betterment of our country. That is what they agree. And yet you know that there's nothing better ambao wanaenda kudiscuss, ama there's no project ambao inaenda kusetwa mwananchi wa chini. That's why I'm saying that it was just a hypocrite.
All right. And when you look at what happened today, this is something that ilianza kimchezo. The president made a statement, ikachukuliwa na watu wa Kenya Kwanza, ikapelekwa with all the narratives that they were able to come up with. Sorry for that. And now today the meeting happened. Is it something that ought to have happened because of the propaganda and the narrative that the president was trying to propagate?
No, it was not supposed to happen. You see, the judiciary should stay as independent as much as possible. But tunaona kuwa they are not now independent. If they can visit the president at the State House, ni lini tutaweza amini kuwa hawa watu wako independent tena? And then they have to be independent. In case anything happens that is against our constitution, they have to stand against it. But now, if we're told tumeona much of impunity happening with this government, president alikuwa anakataa. In fact, amekuwa akisimama open before people akisema in fact he obeys, and he disobeys, not obey, he disobeys the rulings from courts. Anasimama anauliza wananchi kuwa watu wa court wananiambia nisifanye hii kazi, nifanye ama nisifanye. Those I think sababu mfano akiongea mbele ya watu anaita mtu mwingine hapo jina anasema nani, weka pesa, tenga pesa, hiyo kazi ifanyike mara moja, sisi hatutafuata watu wengine ambao wanatusumbua. Those I think sababu kwa akiongea mbele ya watu, so we can't expect anything like how do you call it? There's no
fairness,
justice. Yeah, there's no justice or fairness. Yeah.
Why were some people not invited in this meeting? And why had it to be held in State House? Because one of the things Raila Odinga really was against was it happening or taking place in State House. Why couldn't the meeting have taken place in a neutral ground with more parties involved? Why had it to be State House? why had it to have the very few selected individuals attending the meeting?
Because that is the place where people receives order. Wakati anything menda mess, you are called in that room. Na pale ndo unapewa order on everything that you are supposed to do. This is a guy ambaye amekuwa control everything. So for you to do what he wants to be done, lazima atakuita pale. Na kwambia I want my work to be done this. Anakupatia directives on how things should be done. So hakuna vile tunaweza sema kuwa he expected ama we expected him to have a meeting in another place. No. He had his mission. Yeah, na mission imeshakuwa accomplished.
Bwana Captain, I don't know if you remember, wakati ulikuwa unaitwa kwa principal's office, it was different na kwenda staff room. Principal's office, it really meant something very serious, right? So yeye kuita Chief Justice na wamemeet kwa principal's office, was it ni tactic ya kumweka uoga na kuonyesha hao majaji wengine, if I can call your president like this, hata nyinyi mjichunge, can do more? Is it an intimidation tactic?
Yes, can I ask you a question?
But respond to me, then ask me after you have responded.
Okay, there was no any tactic and all whatever. The president of the court, Koome herself, had to respond to the president because the president is the executive, and there is no way even the justice herself can invite the president to Supreme Court, and there is no way the parliament can invite the president. Sometimes they can, I know, but for this case, the issue that was there, the president had all the rights to invite them as the executive. That is why I'm asking you. The question I was to ask you is, who called the meeting? Is it the president, Koome, or the parliament? Who called the meeting?
Interesting question. Mr. G, who called the meeting?
I think it is Koome.
Interesting. Now, kuna kitu huyu anasema the president angeenda kwa ofisi ya Martha Koome, but I don't agree. Na equally angeenda kwa ofisi ya the speaker. But kama ni Koome ameitisha mkutano, why go to State House? So ange meet any other place. There are so many places they would have met, so many places. Hata kwa corridors of a court, kwa anywhere, including the nice 5-star hotels in Nairobi. There are so many serene places in Nairobi to meet, not just State House. But why State House? Mr. G, why was State House important? Why meet in State House?
Hiyo ndo place watu wana receive directives. That is the place where watu wana receive directives. Remember
I
before
think, yes, allow me, Mr. G, allow me also. Why not Sagana State Lodge? Why not Eldoret State Lodge? Why not Kisumu State Lodge? Even Kisii, the Upstate Lodge. Why State House of Nairobi? Hello. Why? Mr. G.
Okay, I was telling you guys that before our parliament was captured, remember that all those MPs were being called State House. Not the Sagana one ambao unaongea, but it was just the one in Nairobi. Na hapo wakati aliwaita, that is when alikuja kuicapture yote mzima mpaka sasa tumebaki. Even you don't see the meaning of having these MPs. Sasa sahi ni judiciary ambayo imeanza. And that's why I told that is the only place where people receive directives. Kumbuka, it is something that I told you guys that huyu jamaa ambaye akisema kwa project zake zinazuiliwa na imefika mahali hakuna kitu itamsimamisha. This is what he said, even I think it was yesterday, akisema kuwa anaenda kukalia watu. You remember the statement ambayo alisema akiwa Busia, akasema nitaenda kuwafinya watu, naenda kuwakalia watu. Alikuwa anamaanisha nini? Yeah, mahali tumefikia, hawa jamaa wametufail, court imetufail.
Mr. G, you have said that is the only place where they receive directives. Do you mean that today's meeting was that CJ and the team, they were told to deliver maybe on behalf of the other side of the government? That is what you mean?
Now,
sorry, keep.
I'm asking you, Mr. G. You said that is the place where they receive directives from the government. So, do you mean that today's meeting itself, they were going there to be given direction on how they'll be ruling?
Exactly. That is what I'm trying to tell you, keep. Hakuna kingine tuna expect.
all right, there is a friend wa Kip ako ndani anasema wacheni porojo, hatufanyi porojo, we are discussing what happened today. Si porojo, if you can be able to get it kwa media, it's fair. It's not
online. Atuambie hapa online.
All right. All right. Now, one thing I wanted to ask you guys, this is the team that was on the executive side: the president, the attorney general, the solicitor general, and the CS for interior. All right. All these were from the executive. Now, let me begin with you, Mr. G. Why do you think this team is important? Why this team first? Mr. G. Alright, bwana captain, mbona alikuwa na hii team ya attorney general, solicitor general na CS interior? Kuna other guys wangekuwa hapa, and I'll tell you why I'm asking you that. Why these guys first of all?
Who appointed these guys there?
You are
the way you have listed yourself. The way you have listed yourself, you know who appointed them. You know who appointed them. Don't answer that. And before you answer, as you have said that you'll answer some of the people who are supposed to have been there. I don't know why, but when you see that sequence of these people, they have been arranged: President, Attorney General, Solicitor General. Meaning, I don't know the other side who they were not invited, were adding any value, but can you arrest your case the way you want to say?
Okay, I'll be telling you why I'm asking, because now, ladies and gentlemen, those joining us, Asanteni Sana, I see you, and you are equally guys who are important to this show. Asante, I see the numbers are quite high, those watching us now. Thank you very much. I say good dear, comment up for comment section. Thank you so much, Coach Collins. I see you. Thank you very, very much. I see Ramos Yegon Akondani, Karib Sana Kaka. Thank you for being part of this great conversation. I equally so lady let me just get her name, Sheima Hussein pia akondani, karibu sana kwa hii great conversation we are having. All right. Now, these were the guys invited from the president's side: the president, the attorney general, solicitor general, and of course the CS interior. These guys had a role they were playing in this meeting. It is not yet clear why, because the attorney general sits in the JSC. All right. Equally, he represents the president in any matters that the president or the government has been sued. So it was important for him to be there. The solicitor general as well, together with the interior CS. But of course, more ought to have been there. More ought to have been there. I'll be telling you why more ought to have been there. If the agenda, as they rightfully told us, was the one they discussed, more ought to have been there. Now, from the judiciary, from the legislature, the legislature arm, we had two guys: the clerk of the National Assembly and the National Assembly Speaker, none other than who? Papa wa Roma. Hao ndo walikuwa. Missing in this was one guy from Kilifi, Speaker of the Senate, Bwana, what do you call him? What do you call this man? Amazon.
Amazon.
The clerk of the Yes. The clerk of the National Senate equally was missing in this. Yeah. So that equally was not fully represented. Now that is on legislature. Let's look at the judiciary. The judiciary, it had the following: one, the Chief Justice, Martha Koome herself, her deputy, Madam Philomena Mwilu herself, again, was equally there. And now the acting Chief Registrar, acting because Mandy, she's called Mandy, she's retiring, or rather, she's leaving the Chief Registrar's docket. So these were the three
Ana Madi
present.
ama mgani unasema?
Yes, Madi is leaving. So the
Amadi.
one in, yes, Amadi. So the one in is her deputy, or the one who was deputizing her, who is or act on an acting capacity. They were the three, and of course the one who appeared to there, I think, just to fill in the puzzle, was the chair of COG, Council of Governors, none other than Waiguru. So those were the people present in that meeting. But the gist of all this that they were discussing in the meeting, walikuwa wanaongelea corruption in all sectors, the executive, the judiciary, that's what they were discussing. Now, I want to take you back to those who were there present. We didn't see anyone from the EACC, very important docket, to be represented there because they all equally ought to say what they are doing. The DPP ought to be there because in any case, courts, tukipeleka kesi kotini, the person who acts as a public prosecutor is the DPP. He ought to have been there. He was missing. I don't want to mean that I know who ought to have or who not who was supposed to be there, but if the agenda truly was corruption and not any form of intimidation, if the agenda truly was to streamline the judges, to streamline the courts, to streamline judiciary, I think, and it was a genuine call, I think there are people who are missing in this. That's my take. What do you think, Bwanaji? Was this the right people to discuss what they were discussing today?
You know, Mr. Jakes, this is the matter that it is affecting every Kenyan, everyone in our country. And if at all this guy was genuine enough, he wanted to talk to the president of judiciary, who is Koome, the matters that are affecting all Kenyans, I think angekuwa involve each and every person, even the opposition, angekuwa involved into this thing. Na ingekuwa transparent, open to everyone to discuss what is really affecting our Kenya, our people. But as I told you earlier, Mr. Jake, this matter ni kitu imekuwa secret. Why? Because I believe he want to capture judiciary. And that's why he had to do it this way. Kwa sababu ingekuwa ni matter ambayo ina affect wa Kenya ukweli na he want to do it openly, angekuwa amalika watu wote.
Why do you think it had to have this selected few?
Because this is the government. You know, those are the people who are closer to the president. And when the president want to make any decision, au ndo watu ambao wanamzunguka. You see, who's supposed to know everything that's supposed to be done in our country. So that's why he called them. Wawe karibu na wasikize nini ambaye anaenda kuongea. But the main agenda, I think he wanted these people from court to allow him do what he wants to do concerning the projects ambayo anasema kwa amepangia Kenya projects zake. Yeah. Because the blame yote imekuwa because of his project. Amekuwa akilia akilalamika. Yeah, he has been complaining akisema kwa ni projects zake ambazo zimezuiliwa. So the main aim of this meeting ilikuwa ni his project ziangaliwe zifanye kazi.
But you know, we don't want to say that everything that the president has been doing has been above board, that all the laws have been followed, that he has not been breaking any law, that he amekuwa akionewa na koti. They are stopping it because the president has done all things required, necessary, as per book, and then he becomes 40. Do you agree that the courts have been a stumbling block, ama sometimes vitu zingine zilikuwa zinapitishwa na kifua pasipo hata kuzingatia kanuni ya sheria.
No, there's no way court inaweza simamisha kitu ambao haiko in constitution. Anything that is right, always court itasimama na kitu ambayo iko right. Anything that it is wrong, always court itasema this thing is wrong. So maybe the procedure that is being used imetumika pale, it is wrong. Obviously the court will stand up na waseme no, this thing it is procedural. Tunafaa tufuate the procedure rightly. So utapata kwa some issues zimekuwa being forced to people, being forced to Kenyans without following the constitution. That's why the courts wamesimama wakisema no, we cannot allow this. But now because of that, na naona kama time inaenda, hataki sasa kungoja. That's why amekuwa akituambia kwa atatufinya, akituambia kwa this time round atakalia watu. Hiyo ndio amekuwa akituambia juzi. Yeah, so when he calls these people, niyo tu, there's no other thing. Kwa sababu angekuwa genuine enough, angekuwa ameita kila mtu na ingekuwa open, wa discuss, waongee kuhusu corruption, because we know, we are not blaming, and we are not hatuongei kuhusu hii issue kusema kwa courts are right. No, these judges, they are corrupt. Hiyo ni kitu ambayo iko, and it is a fact they are corrupt. And when the president want to talk about this issue of corruption, he has to include everyone. Na waongele kuhusu hii kitu in fullness, si kuongea in secret. What are they talking in secret? And their corruption affects kila mtu. In fact, corruption haiko kwa nini kwa this hii court ya Koome peke yake. Even these small courts zimejaa na corruption. Yeah. So kila mtu anafaa we inclusive. Haifai kuuraniwa ikiwa in secret hivyo.
Now, juzi nilimsikiza jamaa anajiita Otiende Amolo, na kuna kitu moja alisema ambayo iliniguza kidogo. Akasema ya kwamba hata ukiongea na rais wa mahakama kuu ambaye ni Martha Koome haezi amurisha jaji yoyote kutoa uamuzi wa aina yoyote. The courts are quite independent, that each judge is independent, that the president of the judiciary cannot direct any ruling in other courts. Now, with her going to the president and having this meeting, her juniors, do they feel intimidated? And when they will make ruling, will they feel intimidated, or they will still observe the ability to make rulings that are so independent and haziegemei either serikali or mtu wote, but zinaegemea haki kwa wananchi? Mr. G.
Sorry Jex, niko kazini, sijapata hiyo swali.
Yes. Naelewa nakuuliza. Otiende Amolo alisema ya kwamba hata ukiongea na the president of the judiciary, or rather the CJ Martha Koome, that alone does not really intimidate any sorry for that, any judge, because each judge makes an independent ruling. But the element and the fact that the president met their boss, the chief justice, does it send a warning, or what does it mean to the junior judges, to those who work as much as they work independently? What does it mean? Will they now feel intimidated? What will happen in these other lower courts? Will we now see some cases that involve government collapse, ama government zitakuwa ikiwin most of the cases? Will we start seeing a stop in easy injunctions that the courts have been issuing? What do you make of today's meeting, in as much as the other smaller courts and other judges as well?
Jex, if we want to know that everything that happened maybe is right or is wrong, let's give it time. Let's give Koome time. Let's give him like 1 month and see what will happen. If at all utamwona akaanza kuita the small judges, because at one point atawaita, in case uone another kuwaita these small judges with these other courts, jua there's something that we may discuss, and the president wants it to be done in a certain directive. So for you to know that this thing maybe it favor the president, or it favor the other guys, just give Martha Koome just few time, and just few months, and then you see what will happen. But me, what I know is that this issue was just to intimidate the junior. Yeah, it was just to intimidate the junior.
Captain, One of the case
Yes.
ambayo ilikuwa kotini ni hii story ya health bill, na tayari ishapita tayari. Government imepewa ruhusa ya kuendelea, ilikuwa imepewa a stop order, ikaenda hadi court of appeal, lakini hata before the matter iamuliwe tayari government imeambiwa inaweza endelea. The housing levy ilikuwa imewekwa pending, but court of appeal ikasema inaweza endelea, na hii came after, hizi story zote zilikuja baada ya president kulalamika sana. Jay, is it now the beginning of where we'll be seeing courts behaving like this now that I'm not saying that's why they gave this ruling, but is it a probable cause that they gave the ruling kwa sababu of such intimidations, such calls from the president against these judges? Wewe unaona kama sasa ndio tutaanza kuona mahakama ikitoa uamuzi ambayo ina favor serikali, kwa sababu so far two rulings that initially hazikuwa zina favor serikali lakini sasa zina favor serikali. Unaona kama sasa hiyo ndio itakuwa sasa mtindo?
Jake, I cannot say like that the way you are putting it, but let's give a matter of time, maybe like 1 or 2 weeks, we will see the judges when they give their ruling. We will be basing on them which side are they lying on. Will they be lying on the side of the executive government or the judiciary side? We will be giving now the judgment when we are here. Let's give them time. Concerning the absence of maybe the Speaker of the Senate and the clerk of the Senate during today's meeting in State House, I don't think would have changed anything. Speaker of Senate and clerk of the Senate, they could have not changed anything. What they could have been decided by the president and the president of the court herself, nothing. Those people could have not stopped anything. You see, that is the question you put even in the screen here, that there are some people who are absent. Understand? Yes.
Now the other question, ukiangalia BBI vile ilifanywa, watu wengi walikuwa wanashirikishwa, as much as ilianza na the handshake brothers, but eventually watu wengi walishirikishwa. Kulikuwa na mkutano ya watu wengi, hata kulikuwa na a caucus that iliundwa ya kusaidia kufuatilia mambo ya BBI. Mbona kwa hii, kama kweli ni mambo na corruption and all, mbona tu kuona at least team nzuri, and that's why I was saying kuna watu walikuwa missing, so that isikae kama ni pande moja imemeet the judiciary, kwa sababu ni kweli ni kama ni pande moja ili meet the judiciary. So why was this different, and is this the style that William Ruto will be choosing, that he will be looking at ways that favor him most than favoring even his opponents? Because Uhuru had a way of at times making the opponents feel as though hajawa left out sana, but Ruto ni kama Azimio wajaribu asijaribu, at times he doesn't really mind what they are doing. What do you think?
Okay, Jakes, I'll be answering you basing on communication breakdown between opposition side and the ruling government. There is no any proper communication between William Ruto, the president, and the opposition leader Raila Odinga, that they can speak together and they say, can we meet the Chief Justice herself to tell us what's happening in court? So that the opposition side can give their own contribution and the ruling government can give their own contribution, and they tell them, do your ruling basing on the evidence and all the people of Kenya what they need, you see. But the executive government now, they want to suppress everything. They want to suppress the judiciary. They want to suppress the parliament, and they are suppressing opposition. Not knowing that opposition is part of government in Kenya. There is no way a government in Kenya can be ruled by the ruling side without getting the corrections from the opposition side in any world. That is what I know. The government that is ruling, they have to correct their mistakes looking from the opposition side. The opposition side, they have to oppose them, and now they go and sit down. They start from ground zero, that we've been told this and that. How can we rectify this and that? You understand? So now, what I'm trying to say is that the government or the ruling government, the executive, they suppress other sides of the government and also the opposition side. Whereby today at State House, they were supposed to have been seated, all of them, and they discussed the problems facing our people in Kenya. Yes.
Same question now, but in a different twist. Mr.
Yes.
G, let me ask this, Mr. G. If Raila Odinga was invited in today's meeting, and let's take, for example, he attend, would you still hold the position you are holding that the judiciary is compromised?
Just the fact that opposition leader is invited in that meeting, obvious. Even your expectation, hata kama hautaki mtu, obvious your expectation itakuwa kuwa huyu jamani kama kuna kitu anataka watu wa discuss mzuri, kwa sababu why is he calling opposition leader and then the government too? You see, the problem here is that the woman called just only government. That's where the problem is, because tumeona kuwa government imekuwa on the side of bitterness. Wamekuwa on the side of bitterness, wakicomplain what they're going through because of these judges. Sasa how comes the only people who have been complaining about your conduct ndo umeita? Angekuwa ameita the whole team, the opposition, ameita kila mtu, hapo tunaona sense and it makes sense. Watu wanaweza keti na wakaongea wakasema no, these are matters that are affecting our people in Kenya and we can solve this thing. But sasa for her to call only one group of people and then the people that are ameita ni wale watu ambao wamekuwa complain or being mistreated by her or by his people. Obviously tunaona kwa hapo kuna something fishy going on. So what I'm saying kuwa angekuwa include every person, kungekuwa na that nini, kungekuwa na that transparent, at least unge believe kuwa yeah, he has good intention.
So the fact that Raila Odinga wasn't there, already to you it wasn't a good intention. Mr. G,
in fact, not only Raila Odinga, other people, hata angeita kina Kalonzo, not only Baba. What I'm talking about ni kuwa inclusive, every Kenyan, even mpaka hawa watu ambao hawako kwa government, these hustlers pia wangeita. Unakumbuka wakati hustler huyu, the hustler mwenyewe president, wakati alikuwa na campaign, those day alikuwa anachukua mpaka bodaboda anamuleta, anaenda anachukua mama mboga pale anamuleta kwa meeting zake, wanakaa wanapiga story, wanaongea. Unaona ni kama kuna some inclusive, unaona. But sasa hapa ni wale watu ambao una complain against, ndio sasa wamekuita. Hakuna any inclusive. That's where the complaint comes in. Kwa sababu angekuwa mtu ambaye anajali Kenya, every person, sai hustlers ndio watu ambao wanaumia sana, ambao wangekuwa included into this. Enda kwa courts zetu, not courts, go to jail, these jails, hizi majela zetu, you'll find a lot of innocent people wamefungwa pale because of this corruption of these guys. Na in Kenya tunaambiwa kuwa ukiwa na evidence, hata mtu anaweza ua mtu, lakini as much as ana provide evidence ambayo ina favor more than the other guy ambaye amefanywa makosa, yule ambaye amefanywa makosa atakuwa kwa shida. You see? So I think also as much as these people that are looking into these things about to happen in our courts here, we need to look at some things, and even not look at some things. I think we need people who can think, people who are considerable. Unakumbuka in the Bible there's a judge ambaye alikuwa anaitwa Solomon, and Solomon there's a time ambao kulikuwa na wanawake wawili, na wanawake wawili walikuwa na watoto wote, and one woman akalelea mtoto wake akaua, na akawa na complain kuwa ule mtoto ambaye ako live ni mtoto wake. So ikawa ni two women fighting for one child. Wakapelekwa kwa Solomon ambaye alikuwa ni judge. What did Solomon do? Solomon look at the situation. Hakuacha watu wakatoa evidence kuonyesha sijui nani. He looked at the situation and he decided accordingly. Na ikapatikana kuwa ukweli venali decide. Ilipatikana kuwa ule mtu ambaye alikuwa amepoteza ule mtoto wake yuko somewhere, na mtu ambaye alikuwa hajapoteza mtoto wake yuko somewhere. In our courts nowadays, wakati unaenda na pesa, they don't want to look at your evidence, ama to look at the full and to do the
all right. Mr. G amefanywa ile kitu,
lakini
all right, I see umerudi. But ladies and gentlemen, you can well join in the conversation kupitia link ambayo nimekutumia hapo kwa comment section. Hiyo link inakutuma StreamYard. Ukifika StreamYard, asha mic, asha camera, andika jina, si lazima iwe rasmi, lakini at least jina ambayo nitatumia kukutambuliza hapa kwa show, alafu ukiwa kwa show ukiclick enter unajikuta uko ndani ya show. Alright, asante pia sana kwa wale ambao wana participate kwa comment section, ninawaona. Asante sana, naona mko wengi sana wale ambao mnatutazama, asante. Na pia ikikupendeza sana, tafadhali guza hiyo like button, like the video, let us keep the conversation going. All right, thank you so much. Tuko kwa platforms kibao, so feel free as well to subscribe to Afrique24 and let us have this conversation going. All right, thank you very much. Now I want to bring in a different topic, but we discussed this in the morning. Now what I'm about to discuss is Azimio and the challenges that the newspaper had brought out, that Azimio iko kwa verge of collapsing. Azimio iko na issues. Oh, Junet Mohammed ako hivi na hivi. That's the show we had in the morning. So kindly kimbia hapo Afrique24 na uone the show that we had in the morning. Now, Baba equally responded. Baba gave a response to what he said, that the media has gone rogue. The media has been reporting issues that are not factual, issues that are not true, or rather imekuwa ikipropagate what he termed as propaganda, issues that are not fully verified. That they come up with stories and then they almost want to preach it as gospel truth. All right, so that's what Raila Odinga was really against today, saying that we have a media that at times is not professional, casting aspersions, creating unnecessary lie, creating a story that is not really true, not well. They haven't done the research properly, because he said there are no rifts in Azimio, there are no breakups in Azimio as the media was trying to propagate. There's no one leaving Azimio. There is no one who has said that Junet is leaving Azimio. So that's what the ODM Azimio leader was saying today. And we had that discussion, of course, with Mr. G and Alex Kina Black, who joined me in the morning. So kindly kimbia hapo Afrique24, ona hiyo show ya asubuhi. It was a nice one, and that's what I want us to look at even as we go to the next segment of this show. All right, but before I even have sentiments from both Mr. Captain and Mr. G, I want us to listen in to what Raila Odinga had to say in as much as him having an issue with Azimio is concerned and what that means. All right, so listening to this, what Raila Odinga had to say in as much as Azimio is concerned.
Odinga has allayed fears that the opposition coalition is disintegrating. Speaking in Manda Primary School in Lamu County, Odinga said talk of a collapsing Azimio is wishful thinking, adding that the coalition is united ahead of the crucial meeting on Thursday. Odinga's remarks were echoed by DAPK party leader Eugene Wamalwa, who says that affiliate parties are now holding individual meetings to strengthen their bases. Stephen Leto has more.
The Azimio leader was quick to dismiss claims of a simmering disquiet within the opposition coalition as he joined his party supporters for the ODM membership recruitment drive in Manda, Lamu County. Odinga affirming that Azimio was intact.
Azimio iko imara. Azimio is remaining united, and Azimio will not break up anytime soon. We are on a course to liberate this country from the tyranny and the responsibility.
According to Odinga, differences in opinion between the Azimio top brass should not be mistaken for a fallout. Soon after the release of the National Dialogue Committee report, fault lines emerged in the opposition as other principals felt should change in the Bomas dialogue, calling for a total rejection of the report.
I really want our media to be responsible. We don't want media to spread unnecessary and irresponsible propaganda. Nobody has left Azimio. Azimio has remained intact. except a few members of parliament who decided to take a walk.
Raila's remarks come amid reports of a looming fallout in Azimio. Some coalition principals continue to express interest in the presidential seat in 2027 polls. DAPK party leader Eugene Omalwa says eventually the coalition will emerge with one presidential candidate to face off with President Ruto.
I got the endorsement of my party to be the presidential flag bearer in 2027, and I'm preparing my bid. We have seen the Wiper leader, Kalonzo Musyoka, also announce his bid. My good brother Wajakoya also on Sunday announced his bid. And others are also urging Mzee Raila Odinga to prepare for the sixth run. So this should not be mistaken for a split in Azimio. In fact, we are preparing. And as I said, we are a democratic movement. And through a very democratic process, we will be able to pick the best flag bearer that will send William Ruto and his Kenya Kwanza government home in 2027.
Wiper National Organizing Secretary and Deputy Minority Leader Robert Mbui says ODM, Wiper, DAPK and Jubilee remain together in the coalition, even though they are separately engaging their party strongholds to widen the coalition support.
There is always speculation when you don't see Kalonzo in a function. You start imagining that Kalonzo is no longer working with the team, or you don't see one of the other principals. The fact is that these principals have each got a region to deal with, and each of them has got to build the coalition. For your information, a strong Wiper is as strong as Azimio.
Regional coalition within the region is to, again, get a strong unit which you take to Azimio. It ends up strengthening Azimio. Let me tell you about Kamwene. Kamwene is not a party. It's a forum for leaders from Mount Kenya. And it is actually a spirit of the...
They also take stock of the past year and look into their 2024 strategy as MPs resume from long recess in 2 weeks' time. Stephen Leto.
You're muted, sir. Your mic is muted.
Sorry for that. Now, Mr. G, we had this discussion in the morning. The principals say what they're doing, they're just working within their parties. Azimio is so intact. What do you make about the sentiments today? And do you believe Azimio is intact?
I think I will just go with the words about the leaders have said, because no one has come out to say that they have maybe some different issue. Although I know that all is not well. Kwa sababu it is many times tumeona meetings whereby these leaders are not coming together. In fact, many meetings tumeona ni ODM limekuwa na a lot of meetings kila wakati na wanakutana au ODM peke yao. Every function ambayo zinafanyika inakuwa it as if it is just one party. So what I can say, as much as I respect our leaders, we are in Azimio, but at least hiyo ni kitu ambayo iko wazi. I think they need to put their house in order. Yeah, our house, we need to put it in order. Yeah, hatuwezi sema tu kwa everything is okay. No, they need to put their house in order, which is our house.
All right. Mr. Captain, of course, lisemwalo lipo na kama halipo lipo njiani laja. The media cannot just report something they have no clue about, or probably they have a hint about. From where you sit, is Azimio doing well?
No, it's not doing well. Even on the meeting that is coming, I don't know next week or when. This Thursday or when? They have a meeting. I know.
It is this coming Thursday.
On Thursday. I promise you. And if it will not come, it will come later on. Mother Karua will walk away from Azimio. Mark my word. Mark my word. She'll walk away.
But why walk away? She has come all this far. Why walk away?
This woman, she has been so acrobatic. Huh? She's so acrobatic. She's having funny behavior.
Acrobatic, you said? Why is it acrobatic?
What do acrobatics do? They do impossible things. They tell you to bend this way when you know very well you will break your waist. You see? So Mother Karua herself, she wants to be the flag bearer for presidency in 2027. In reality, when we speak here the truth, even one MCA she doesn't have. But she wants to be so much focal to be heard so much. You see? And you know, she's that woman that she's cheating herself to be the Iron Lady. Anajiita mwanamke ya kupiga pasi. When in reality, she's doing nothing at all. She cannot even deliver an MCA from our county, Kirinyaga. But she wants to lead the national politics, which is not even next to impossible. It is not possible, in fact. The other day, you have had some people in Jacaranda telling her, oh, you want to talk so much, oh, hauna hata MCA, hauna chochote hata moja, lakini unataka kuonekana sana. Usione wale watu wako Jacaranda pale wanaongea upuzi. Hata tukiwa hapa kwa hii platform, we are not talking nonsense here. We are talking the politics that is there. And this is what's happening in the country as we talk. This Thursday,
now,
we're giving another month, you'll see some divergence and people walking away from Azimio. ODM will remain to be ODM, which used to be where the president was the secretary general, I don't know, before he left there. You remember? So it is not funny. It's not funny, Jakes. Let's wait for the meeting, and then we give him a lifespan of maybe 1 or 2 months. You will see funny movements from that thing called Azimio thing.
Mr. G, I don't know if you agree with Mr. Captain, but one of the questions I want to truly ask you is this. One time, Kalonzo cast aspersions in what Kioni, Jeremiah Kioni, Martha Karua, and the Laikipia former governor were calling, is it Kamwene or Kamwane, something like that. And at one time, we saw them exchange some interesting tweets. Martha Karua was asking, why does Kalonzo keep on attacking a faction if it means nothing? So when you look at such exchanges, including one where Kalonzo agrees with the NADCO report, but Karua doesn't agree with it. When you look at such, of course, each leader is entitled to their opinion. Truly, is all well and is all still rosy? Do we still have an Azimio that is intact, or very soon tutaanza kusikia some walkout, as Mr. Captain is saying that maybe after Thursday we might see Karua walking away?
No, as much as I agree with Captain on what he said that everything is not well in Azimio. First of all, Mr. Jakes, you have to ask yourself a question. When we are in one party, when we are in a coalition, why is it? Why am I supposed to have another team? The Kamwene team, the team that your team, we are being told that the team does not belong to Azimio, the team does not belong to UDA. Sasa, this team ina belong wapi? We are in the same team. We have one focus. We believe in one ideology. Why should I go and form another team outside my own team? Why can't I just bring these people that I have to my main team? Because we need to find a strategy whereby we can take the nation. This shows that we are not together. This shows that there are some differences. There's some things that we don't agree. There's some things that we don't believe in as a team. But on the issue of maybe watu kutoka vene kipa anasema, I'm not sure, because I don't see where Martha Karua can go. Because if tunaweza sema maybe anaenda kusimama kama president, she can't. Bado even though he's an iron lady, kipa anasema si iron lady, she is an iron lady. I believe, in fact, I believe in what he stands for. But at this moment, I think they need to build Azimio as a team. This is what it should be a focus for them. The whole team should come together now and discuss to find a proper way they can use if at all they want to take this government. Because when they're saying that they are together and yet we don't see them together, hiyo tunajidanganya. There are some wrinkles in our house that we need to put our house in order.
Now, when you look at Azimio, ODM seems to be the mother, the father, the children. It has everyone. or rather, it's very active. We are seeing them mobilizing and increasing their number of those who have been registered in their party. We are seeing ODM moving all over the country, doing meetings, doing all these forums. Now, are these other parties, as much as you want to still call them Azimio, really, are they not riding on the glory of ODM, not Azimio?
In fact, they are riding on the growth of ODM. In fact, in Azimio is just ODM. The village we have some small people, small parties like kina Kalonzo, Wiper, and the Matakarua Swan, na ile ya nini ya Wamalwa, but all these people they're just riding on the back of ODM. ODM is the strongest team. ODM is the only party that has showed wanaweza fund presidential campaign, kwa sababu kwa sahii ukipatia Martha Karua peke yake asimame kama Martha Karua, she can't fund for his presidential campaign. She can't, hana hiyo pesa. When you go to Kalonzo ukimpatia hiyo chance to fund his campaign presidential campaign rallies, the whole country hata manage, because hana hiyo pesa. That's why they have to come together as a team to work together. But the problem is that I think these guys believe in kupewa. They believe in ile kitu wanasema, how do you call it? There's a better word I can use than kupewa. That ukitaka kupewa kiti, how do you call that word?
Direct nomination.
Direct nomination. The endorsement. That's the right word. These people, I think they believe in direct endorsement. That's why you find that wanaketi tu wakiride and Baba's back, wakifika kwa atakuwa endorsed. But they will not be endorsed. They have to come out. They have to fight for this thing. They have also to popularize their parties. Martha Karua should come out in Azimio.
Baba afanye kazi, wao tu wangoje wadandie.
No, hiyo haifanyiki hivyo. They have to come out. They have to work for their parties. You know, the moment your party is strong, the moment your party iko na watu, in fact you have that base to negotiate with the other team. Ukisimama kama ODM iko na watu 200 na timu yako piko na watu 200, unapata Kalonzo ako na watu 200, ile ya Wamalo iko na watu 200. When they sit on the table, they discuss. Wanasema mimi nataka kitu fulani. Wanasema uko na watu wangapi? Niko watu 200. ODM pia kiketu wanasema tunataka kitu fulani. Wanauza uko na watu wangapi? Tuko na watu 200. In fact they can discuss, but now you are alone. Ama you are only two. The other guys, they are almost 10,000. The other people, they are almost 1,000. You have no negotiating power. Unakosa. So they have to work on their parties, at least to mobilize people on their parties so that they can be strong.
Mr. G, you have said something about giving direct endorsement to members, maybe because of loyalty alone, whatever. Why is the ODM so much concentrating on those direct nominations? Why can they believe in going to the ballot, that is party primaries, and the people of Kenya, they elect the person they want? Why is it so? Why? Because I see ODM, they are prone on such a thing. Even in UDA, we have.
Mr. Kip.
Yes.
Mr. Kip, I agree with you that ODM wanapenda sana direct ticket, but for me, I don't believe in a direct ticket. I believe in somebody going and fight for himself. But the problem is sometimes unapata kama our leaders, they always think that wakienda watapoteza their royal people. In every team kuna wale watu ambao wako royal to the leader. So I think that is my mind. See it in mind ya wale. But me, I believe that kwa anatumia that direct ticket kwa sababu anaogopa kwa wakienda pale, he will lose his royal person ambaye amekuwa royal to her, to him or to her. That's why they give that direct ticket. But on my side, I prefer.
You can be loyal to your party leader, but or to your party. Let me say so. Let me not say party leader. You can be loyal to your party, but your leadership qualities are pathetic, and you want us to elect you basing on party that they have told us this is the person, this is the governor for this county. So there is no any other election that will be like primaries or whatever. While in real sense, we know in our minds that you are not a leader. Which kind of a leader is the party giving us?
No, you know, Mr. Tip, that's why I told you that that is the problem that it is in our party. These people, they tend to believe that wakipatana direct ticket, wanapatiana their royal people kwa sababu wana fight for them. But look at this, look at what happened even juzi tu kwa hii last election ambayo happened. Some people were given direct ticket, but after election wamejump over, wameenda to another party. You see, tumewapoteza. Even others wamepigana wakafight wakashinda, lakini still wameenda wametuacha. So to me, I don't believe in this thing called direct ticket. I think people should fight kupata chance yao na waweze kulead our people, even though sometimes unaweza enda ukapata underground watu wanataka mtu fulani na unakuja una endorse mtu ambaye hawataki. You see, unapata sasa huyu jamaa maybe alikuwa on ODM. There's something that happened in ambayo happened hapa Kwale in Mombasa na tukapoteza. Unakumbuka this guy ambaye alishinda UDA in Kwale? That guy from Kwale, he was an ODM guy. But kulikuwa na shida pale. Hii mambo ya nomination kulikuwa na shida. Huyu jamaa akawa amependwa na ground. But baba akawa amepatiana ticket to a person ambaye hapendi na ground. Walipoenda kwa by election, the guy jumped over and akaenda UDA. And he passed. Alishinda, akabaki UDA mpaka leo amekuwa UDA. Because of these things called direct ticket and
are you talking of Msambweni?
I think it's Msambweni. This guy, a Swahili guy, mzito kiasi. He was an ODM guy. Like he was an ODM guy. Na kama amependwa na ground. But because of hii mambo ya nomination na nini, ikamfanya akakasirika, akaenda UDA. And that's when he was voted in. So, you know, this issue of direct ticket, he's just a new guy. Now, he's a new guy in UDA. And he was among the first people who are close to this ticket of UDA.
Now let me remind you of a story we still did in the morning, as much as it has been classified as media propaganda. It was the issue of Junet Mohammed and the Azimio leader, and they were talking about a fallout, or rather what I call a failed out, where the two are having issues. The two are not seeing eye to eye, according to the media sources, and that Junet ameandikiwa barua asiparticipate in Azimio, rather ODM issues. But before you do that, I want to listen to this former president Bunge la Wananchi, what he had to say on that matter, and then we come back, even as I take a breather. Listening to this.
Sikuona Suna East MP Junet Mohammed, na hapo kwa mtandao ya kijamii kidogo watu wanaongea, wanasema maybe huenda aliandikiwa barua, alisamoniwa. Kuna watu wanapendekeza maybe alikosana na baba, na mimi najua sana vizuri sana kama kuna mtu ambaye baba anamsikiza sana kwa karibu ni Suna East MP Junet.
My friend Gido, ni vile mimi na avoid mambo mingi na na avoid vita mingi, but ukweli lazima nisemwe. Mimi nasikia uchungu mtu akisema ya kwamba eti Junet Mohammed eti yakuwe someone asikuwe na asifanye activities zote ya party, asiongee mambo ya party, asinini boss. Nataka nikwambie leo Gido ya kwamba Junet Mohammed kama mtu lazima na vijana lazima tu trust na Junet Mohammed ndani ya hiyo chama ya ODM. Iko tabia nyingine hapa ya kwamba ukikuwa close na Raila Odinga ni kama unakula kuliko watu wengine. La ukweli iko hakuna mtu alipea vijana ticket ya ODM kama si Junet Mohammed. Nataka nikuambie Junet Mohammed ndiye alipea Robert Alai ticket. Kama iko watu wengine wangona hapa na watakangi vijana. Walisema Robert Alai ni NIS. Hawakutaka kumpea ticket. Junet Mohammed alimpea ticket. Mimi nilipewa ticket ya ODM under Junet Mohammed kulazimisha akwambia baba ya kwamba lazima tupe huyu kijana ticket. Iko watu ambao wanasema ya kwamba hao wako na uwezo wako kwa chama na ni viongozi wa chama, hawakutaka mimi nipewe ticket. After kupewa mimi ticket walienda na ni wako kwa kiti ya party na ni wakubwa kwa party, walienda wakasimamisha watu kwa independent. Kidogo nikapoteza na 17 votes na wako kwa kiti na ya party. Wanasema hao wako loyal kwa party. Uko loyal kwa party kama unaweza fund na uongee na tribe yako wapigie mtu wa independent. Hiyo uko loyal aje? Unaona? Junet huyu ndiye amepea matouch. Huyu MCA hapa Korokocho, kijana kutoka chini, alikuwa anashinda na Kinyasa. Hii Kinyasa yako niko na nini? Yeye alikuwa anatembea na Kinyasa zile za Duole. Junet Mohammed alimtoa kwa mawe. Enda nini Suna East. Junet amepea vijana wengi. Vijana vijana wetu walichukua ni security, watu wa kupiga watu. Alichukua kapea ticket, wengine zaidi ni MCS. Unaona? Hao wengine wanasema Junet asikuwe close na baba. Wamefanyia watu nini? Kazi yao ni fitina, wataki vijana. Wanatakanga tu vijana, wakiona vijana wanaona kama watu wa kuang kwa gari zao, kuwapea 200, kuwapea 500. Unaona? Mimi nasema na wanajua vizuri Junet anaambia Raila Odinga ukweli. Raila Odinga anasimama na Raila Odinga. Sasa hebu nikuulize, hao wanasema Raila Odinga akae mbali na Junet. Wanaweza fund hata party. Wanaweza ambia hata Raila Odinga ita ule jamaa watu weke kitu kwa mesa hapa. Jua campaign si kuongea peke yake kwa microphone. Campaign pia inahitaji watu wanaweza tutafanya nini? Wanaweza fund. Unaona? My friend, hao watu wanajua wanataka kumalizana na ODM, na kumalizana na ODM wanataka kusukuma Junet Mohamed atoke. Junet ndio mtu wamempiga after election. Gido. Wanasema after election eti Junet Mohamed ndio alifmess baba. Mimi nauliza hapa, tuko na secretary general, tuko na chairman ya party, tuko na watu wengi hapa kwa party. Secretary general ni Sifuna. Hajasema ODM as party walilose aje. Nani alikuwa na control pesa ya agent? Unaona? Waje tuwaambia chairman ilikuwa ni Mbadi. Kwa nini hizi lawama zote wanawekea Junet Mohamed ndiye alikuwa anakula? Eti yeye Junet ndiye amekula pesa ya agent, Junet ndiye alikuwa na mess, Junet ndiye alikuwa anafanya nini? Tukiingia hapo ndani kabisa historia ya Junet, watu wengi sana hawafai kukua close na baba. Juu waje tuambia baba alilose aje election. Kama baba anazarigiwa na 200,000 peke yake ingetolewa Homa Bay ama ingetolewa hapa Migori. Viongozi wetu kutoka Nyanza na watu wengi kwa ODM wanatakanga viti zao na wataki ya Raila Odinga. Kama saa hii walijua Raila Odinga ameisha, wameona Raila Odinga amekula nyasi kidogo, matiti imeanza kutoka, wanaona inatoka matiti tena inatoka ya maziwa, wasanunua ndoo. Wengine wamenunua ndoo ya governor, wengine wamenunua ndoo ya senate, wengine wamenunua ndoo ya MP. Hasa wanajaribu kukimbiza Junet. Sisi tunasema ya kwamba Junet Mohamed tuko na yeye nao watu ukipanda pandi wanasukuma babu, pandi hii nyingine wanasukuma gaucho, pandi wataki watu vocal na wataki vijana wako nini, wanataka tu watu wengine hapa wa nini wa control. Junet walimsukuma ya kwamba Junet, kama mimi mwenyewe wananipiga close, niko na close na baba na mimi sina kitu, mimi si MP na wananisukuma. Hao watu watakangi mtoto ambaye uko vocal na unaweza nini, ni kama wanataka kumaliza baba polepole na njia nyingine. Mimi nasema ya kwamba Junet, wale wanasema Junet ni anafaa wasamon juu walimpata kwa party.
Inasemekana kuwa maybe kuna barua ambayo imeandikwa. Na hii barua imeandikwa maybe na party secretary wa ODM. Hebu nieleze hii barua iliandikwa na nani, na unashuku lengo ya hiyo barua ni gani, na tangu lini Junet akawacha kutembea na baba?
My friend, Junet ni Muislamu. Waislamu wapendangi vitu za kuvutana kwa kitu hiko. Unaona? Na mimi nataka nikuambie, kijana ya Raila Odinga mkubwa, hao watu wapende wasipende, ni Junet Mohamed. Junet Mohamed hawezi saliti Raila Odinga. Na mimi naambia hata jamii yetu wa Wajaluo, Raila Odinga alitoa Junet kutoka mahali alikuwa anafanya biashara tu ya kuuza kitu alikuwa anauza, akamweka akamnominate kama MCA, kama councillor. Raila Odinga akamtoa from councillor to akamweka mayor Migori. Unaona? Raila Odinga akamtoa hapa akakuwa MP Suna East. My friend, Raila Odinga alikuwa president. Junet angetengeneza pesa mingi kuliko hii watu wanasema eti alikula pesa agent ndio Raila Odinga asikuwe president. Mimi naambia watu wengi wawache hii fitina. Hii udaku wamejaribu kupaka Junet, wamejaribu. Mimi sio waliniwekea kwamba nimeenda UDA, wakatengeneza wale walikuwa wanatengeneza ni watoto wa party, ndio walifund mpaka hizi ma local media hizi zenyu, wakapea pesa, wakachukua picha yangu na Omanga ya 2020 wakaanza kutrendisha kwamba mimi na work na watu wa UDA. Watu the same watu walikuwa nalia ya kwamba
watu ni kina nani?
Iko watu sitaki kutaja jina lakini wanajijua. Lakini wacha nikwambie kidogo, sasa pia tumeanza kujipanga. Hebu nikuulize, kwa nini Junet wamepea babu barua? Babu wao wamepea barua?
Kwani babu amenena?
Babu unauliza, babu pia kujangi function mingi. Wamempea barua. Kwa nini Junet ndio wanasukuma? Mtu akona shughuli. Junet alisema wacha nikae kando kidogo. Unaona? Nifanye mambo mengine juu hakuna election ili affect Junet kama election ya Raila Odinga. Unaona? Wewe umelose, wewe ni captain, wewe ni mmoja wa captain wale cheza midfield. Alafu lose. Na mna lose na 1 dakika ya 92. Unaona? Wewe unasafiri aje? So my friend Junet Mohamed watu wana
all right. Well, sasa where do I begin? Acha nianze na Mr. G. Quick reaction. What do you make of what Gaucho is saying? Quick reaction before I even begin the questions.
I think we had a discussion on this thing in the morning, but
Yes,
first of all, wacha niambie Gaucho anafaa akuje polepole. Unajua Gaucho anakuja mbio sana, anafaa aweke break, anakuja mbio sana, atulie. Going to what he has been talking, I think this is what I tried to say in the morning. Nikisema kuwa I cannot at this moment, I cannot just declare or just say that sahi naweza anza kuita Junet Amol. I cannot call Junet Amol until I listen to his story first. That is what I told nini Alex in the morning. Ukweli ni kuwa Alex, uni Jex, ukweli ni kuwa in the ODM we have cartels. We have a group, and this is what I told you in the morning. We have some groups. Now I think these groups, kuna some of them ambao wako pale just kudandia kwa mgongo ya baba to benefit and not to help baba. Kwa sababu wangekuwa really watu wako na baba pamoja, baba angekuwa sasa ni president. But we have just a group inside there ambao wanapenda kudandia baba ili wafaulu wao wapate. Wakishapata yao wanaachana mambo yao. Look at what happened juzi. Kama hii kitu ya hii nini kama Busia, what happened in Busia? Busia, we chose that guy as an ODM, the governor. He's a governor of ODM. But most of the time, amekuwa against what ODM believe in. Amekuwa against the plans ambao ODM wako nazo. That's why at one point alikuwa anataka kupiga kina nani, alitengeneza aliform goons. Wakapiga in fact gari ya the former governor of Kakamega, Oparanya. Unakumbuka that hiyo maandamano ambayo ilikuwa kwa kila area? Yeah, he had to form a group of goons na wakapiga mpaka wakaribu gari ya governor. Because wa nini? Ha believe in what baba believes in. Yeah, and I believe in other things tofauti na hiyo. So in the ODM we have cartels ambao ODM wanafaa kae chini na baba watoe our cartels apate royal people ambao wanaweza kumsaidia kama anataka kupata hiyo kiti. Even though miaka zimeenda sahi, as much as tunampenda baba, but I think a time will come whereby he has to give that mantle to another person. Although that person hatujampata mpaka sahi ni nani, kwa sababu kuna mtu ambaye amejitokeza ambaye anaweza kupita that seat, anaweza fit kwa ile kiatu ya baba, but you are still waiting on that time mali tutapata mtu ambaye atakuja jitokeze afit kwa that shoe. But at the moment baba should work on ODM kudili na our cartels, these people ambao waweze kumsaidia. Unapata wakati wa campaign whereby we need to be serious guarding the voice of baba, mtu anaenda kuleta girlfriend wake, na anakuja kukaa pale akipiga maselfie, and yet vitu zinaendelea kule ambazo makura zinaibiwa kule, and yet watu wameleta magirlfriend wao wanapiga maselfie. So we need to work on our team. Those groups inafaa ziondolewe, we pate royal people in our team for us to succeed. But on Gaucho ako na mbio sana. Gaucho relax, ako na mbio sana Gaucho.
When you say mbio, what do you mean?
I mean, unajua Gaucho bado he has no post in ODM. He has no post in Azimio. But akisimama, he want to address people is as if ako na post kwa ODM, ama he's a person ambaye ako na post kwa Azimio. And yet huyu ni mtu tu kama mimi chini, even though yeye amenishinda kwa sababu he's more closer to Raila than I am. But that being closer to Raila does not give you ile power ya kwanza kuaddress watu kama watoto. I have seen him addressing people like watoto. The other day akawa ana address Martha Karua kama mtoto. Haukumbuki hiyo clip? Huyu mtu ambaye ni Gaucho ako na that capacity ya kuketi na Martha Karua aanze kumadress na kwa madress hivyo. No, huku bado ako chini, hana chochote pale kwa Azimio, so anafaa atulie. Hata kama ako closer to baba, hiyo being closer to baba does not give you authority kwanza ku address people kama watoto, watu ambao wanakushinda kipesa, watu ambao wanakushinda kimasomo, watu ambao wanakushinda kicheo. Gaucho has nothing to give people.
Lakini watu wengine walianza hivi kama Gaucho saizi wako na kacheo kama Robert Alai, walikuwa tu hivi watu wakupiga kelele, eventually hiyo kelele na kusaidia, eventually watu wanakujua,
kupiga kelele but that does not give you that ile how do you call it, kwanza kwa address watu kama watoto. Kupiga kelele ni kama vile tunapiga kelele hapa tunapiga kelele but hatupigi kelele tukianza kutusi watu kwa timu yetu kwa sababu tuko kulosa na baba ama nini. No, what I'm trying to say ni kuwa he need to humble himself down as much as anataka kujulikana, apige kelele ya siasa kule kando, but acha kuonekana ni kama ako na cheo pale, yeye ndo anajua kupanga vile vitu vinafaa vifanyike. Haiviendi hivyo. But kupiga kelele si shida. Shida ni ile address people with respect. Watu ambao wanakushinda, watu ambao wako juu yako, address them with respect. Yeah, but here tumeona ana address Martha Karua kama mtoto. Martha Karua anamshinda mbali sana. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Yeah. Lakini kupiga kelele kujulikana, sina issue, sina shida na hiyo.
Okay.
But addressing people kama watoto, watu ambao anakushinda, that is where I have a problem with him. Yeah.
Now, he raises some points that Junet Mohammed has really helped many people, and that if anything, he's like the first son of Raila Odinga. I had a conversation in the morning as well with someone who was saying that Junet Mohammed could have taken a backseat, of course, because of other assignments handed to him by Raila Odinga. From where you sit, unaona yeye kuamua kutulia ni kwa hiari ama ni venye wengine wanasema ameamua kumwacha baba?
Junet hajamwacha baba. That's why I told you guys that we need to listen to his story, his side of story before we judge him. Yeah, Junet hajaacha baba. The issue is kuna a lot of allegations ambazo zingine ni propaganda, kama this issue ya agents kuwa siji alikula pesa ya agents. Nani anaweza prove kuwa alikula pesa ya agents? These are just narrative kumharibia with those cartels ambao wako pale, even though kama alihusika yeye mwenyewe pia tunafaa tujue exactly what is really happening. Kwa nini hajaonekana kwa mikutano ya baba? Yeah, but we cannot come out tuanze kumjudge bila evidence ambayo tuko nao kuonyesha kwa ukweli hii kitu ilifanyika. Yeye kukaa kando inaweza kuwa ni kwa sababu ya kuumia, ambaye aliumia, what he expected hakupata, and you know he's a businessman. Yeah, sasa anasema maybe atulize kichwa kidogo, akiangalia business zake, a relax kwanza, tulie, akiwa sawa he'll come back, but we cannot judge him right now.
Kuna swali lingine pia bwana Gaucho anauliza, yes, tuta complain kuhusu Junet kutoonekana, but pia kuna jamaa pia amekuwa akikosa hizi mikutano, jamaa Babu Owino. What do you make of the same? But usisahau pia kwa maandamano Junet hakuonekana sana kwa maandamano. He was seriously missing in most functions, including even those protests. He wasn't there. We didn't see him.
Yeah, he was not in the protest. Hata Joho, he was not in the protest.
Joho alisema
those are just allegations. Yeah, even Simbarati, they were not in the maandamano. At least watu kama kina nani, kama kina Orengo walikuwa mara moja. Yeah, but now looking at the situation kama ya Babu Owino, Babu Owino alikuwa kwa maandamano. Yeah, but kwa sahi haonekani sana, you see. But hatujasikia those issues, sijui anapewa barua ama nini, hatujasikia issue kama hizo. So there's some gap, kuna cracks. Baba has to work on his house, ambao ni ODM. Yeah, that's the thing ambao naweza ongea pia, he has to work on his house.
Bwana Captain, I don't know if you saw this, but walikuwa anasema juzi Bwana Captain that kuna challenge between Junet Mohammed na Raila Odinga, and that's why I played this clip from Gaucho. From where you sit, is there a challenge between Raila Odinga and Junet Mohammed?
What do you mean when you say challenge?
Like these guys are not now seeing eye to eye. Others may call it a fallout. They have failed out of each other. There's a falling of each other.
But Jake, sir, when you compare Junet Mohammed and Raila Odinga and the word we are using, challenge, which category are you putting Raila in when you compare with Junet?
What do you mean category?
The category of challenge, they're challenging each other. Can Junet Mohammed play the politics of Raila Odinga?
Yani, what I mean is, it's like watu wawili ni kama wamekosana. Unaona kama Junet na Raila wanaweza kosana.
It's okay, yeah? They can kosana, no problem. Kuna mahali wanasema kwa Kiswahili, nyasi iking'olewa kwa nyumba, ile nyumba haitanyesha. Nyasi moja tu iking'olewa. Do you think Junet Mohammed can shake Raila Odinga? When you talk of challenge or kosana na wao.
I don't know.
In the first place, let me tell you this. In the first place,
he's a very good mobilizer. Any team would be lucky to have him.
We have no problem on that. Even Alfred Guteri was mobilizer for William Ruto, where he is right now. When we talk of Junet Mohammed and Raila Odinga, in the first place, Junet Mohammed is a member of parliament from Suna East. That is in Nyanza side, not Garissa. Not Garissa, where if Junet can walk away from Garissa, he can reduce the votes of Raila Odinga in Nyanza. Let me tell you, even if Junet Mohammed can walk away in Suna East, there is no day those people of Suna will not vote for Raila Odinga. They love to. So when you tell us that there is that fighting between Raila Odinga and Junet Mohammed, or rift or what, as you have said, he cannot even cause even 1% of the votes for Raila to lose. He can't. He can't.
But there's not just, when you look at what some people are even saying in comment section, Geoffrey Ruto says not only Junet has left Azimio coalition, we have another one known as Joho. You know, it's one thing to lose somebody, it's another thing to lose the people that support him. As much as you say not even one person from Suna East will follow Junet, but never underestimate anyone. That's what we were saying about Wetangula. We said, Wetangula, actually, I remember very well how they would describe Wetangula. It's buy Msalia, get Wetangula free. They said Wetangula has no magic following in Bungoma. But the number of votes William Ruto got in Bungoma actually surpassed what Raila Odinga had. Huyo mwenye aliitwa get him for free kwa sababu watu walikuwa wamemdespise, walisema papa wa Roma. In fact, I remember the pictures that used to go around of how Papa wa Roma used to dress. They disregarded him. So when I hear you disregard Junet Mohammed, I almost ask myself, you want to mean he has 0 person he can influence differently? That's what you want to mean? What are you
that is
saying,
what I mean.
Captain?
Is zero. Let me tell you, zero has come when politics of Nyanza comes in. Let me ask you, Jakes, why are they not someone in Joho that is not attending ODM meetings? Why Junet? Why Junet?
And why not Babu Wino? Then that means there is more than what meets the eye, because there are so many other people who are not attending the meetings. Why
like
Junet?
which meeting that took place that Babu Wino was not there? Which one?
Including the one that happened Tuesday, Saturday. Babu Wino was not there.
That was a private family meeting. That was a private family function. If he was not invited, he was not invited.
How private is it that we even have a cabinet secretary attending it?
He was invited.
I don't know. I don't want to say he wasn't, but
let's be let's be truthful. Let's not be biased when we are coming to analyzing this politics of this and that.
I am not, and that's why I want you to give your opinion.
That's what I'm saying. If Babu Wino was not invited, we are Africans, Africans. If you are not invited somewhere, what are you going to do there? Babu Wino is one of the VIP people in Kenya. You are not just walking in like ordinary kijana tu ametoka kwa ng'ombe huko mustuni ati anakuja kwa function, anakuja kukula alafu aende. No. That guy is a VIP. He's supposed to be given a seat somewhere. He's supposed even to be invited to speak. Si kama mimi naweza enda pale, nitapewa samaki yangu pale na ugali yangu mimi nikule niondoke. No.
Well, that's your argument, but I don't know if Mr. G agrees with it. But when you listen to, I don't know if you listen to what Gaucho is saying concerning Junet. Gaucho says that if there is a person who should really be trusted in ODM is Junet. Do you agree?
For me, maybe sometime I can agree, but not agreeing, because even the other day, the previous election, we were told that Junet Mohammed alikula pesa ya agents. Hakulipa agents. wa presidential election. That's why even wanasema mpaka baba akapoteza kura ni kwa sababu Junet Mohamed akuallocate agents each and every polling station, akakula pesa. Unaona? But sometimes when you saw the campaign mood of Junet, you were so much on Baba. In fact, even I remember when he was in Narok, he was insulting the deputy president, who is the president now, that unatisha nani wewe Ruto, wewe unatisha nani? mpaka sijui meno ya Ruto sijui ilikuwa inatoka nchi gani, nafikiri ni Turkey ama nchi gani, I don't know, you see. So Junaid Mohammed, I think sometimes maybe he was on the party before and after that akaanza kuruka kidogo baada ya kupata pesa za agents. If indeed it is the truth, I don't know, mimi sijui kama alikula pesa ya agents. Nimesikia tu kutoka kwao au akina Kaujo.
Okay.
Sijui. Unaona? That is it.
So, okay. I give you a moment to reply. Mr. G, do you agree with the sentiments of Bwana Captain? Mr. G? All right. I think we have Mr. G, can you hear me?
Mr. G ako busy. Ako job.
Yeah, I'll niambia ako job. I'll get him just now. I want to bring in another topic, and this is interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the other topic we are about to look at is something that literally disturbed me. This, I must admit, really disturbed. Why? Because I believe that our children are our future. Our children are our hopes, dreams, and aspiration. I believe that each child deserves all the rights enshrined to them by the Constitution, and of course, by the fact that they are children and they are our children. All right. Now, one thing that really caught me and really I really didn't sit well with it is this what I'm about to bring in just now. It's now alarming. It's now sickening to a point that it's disturbing me and many who equally share these sentiments. That, ladies and gentlemen, in what is now becoming almost obvious, our children are not attending school. Not just attending, are yet to join Form 1. Kitambo, the number may be equal as huge or as the figures now are disturbing. We are talking of close, of course, nowadays there's a system you're able to tell the NIMS is able to track how many children joined which
Let's put
level
us on full
depending
screen,
on
bro.
just one
Full
moment,
screen.
because I'm about to share something else. When you look at the number of children who have refused because of either lack of school fees and all, need 300,000. Ladies and gentlemen, 300,000 of our children will not be joining Form 1. Not because either some haven't passed the exam, others scored highly, 300 and something. Others were called to national schools. But lo and behold, they won't be joining because the economy is bad. There are no one to sponsor them. I even don't want to continue. I want you to listen in, and then I come back and we discuss this. Because what do you make where 300,000 children won't be making it to Form 1? This we must.
Students are yet to report to Form 1 week after schools began enrolling 2023 KCP candidates into secondary education. Now, statistics issued by the Ministry of Education shows that only 86% of the expected learners have reported to school countrywide. And as Laura Otieno now reports, Education PS Belio Kipsang has launched a nationwide mop-up exercise that will seek to ensure 100% transition by the end of this week.
Monday morning, and we meet Christian Mungai accompanied by his father. 1 week after his peers reported to school, Christian is still walking across the streets of Nairobi, hoping to get a well-wisher to support his secondary education. Christian, who garnered 378 marks in the 2023 KCPE, was called to Butula Boys High School in Busia County. However, the family has been unable to raise 28,000 shillings to pay for his first term of education at the institution.
Kule ameitwa shule. Fees ya mwaka mzima ni shilingi 54,000 na pia kuna baadhi ya vitu zinahitajika, mavazi, matandikio na vitu vingine ambavyo zinastahili atumie mahali pale shuleni. Bali na hayo, kule ameitwa ni mbali.
Christian is among the 336,000 students countrywide who are yet to report for Form 1 enrollment. Out of a total of 1.4 million candidates who sat for 2023 KCPE examinations, only 86% have so far reported to their respective schools. The worst-hit counties being Nyandarua recording a paltry 52%, and the coastal counties of Mombasa, Kwale, Kilifi, Lamu and Tana River with 60%. Education PS by Kipsang launching a mop-up exercise that will be scaled up countrywide to ensure 100% transition by Friday.
We are meeting tomorrow with all our colleagues in the Ministry of Interior so that we can all have a common strategy of making sure that our children are in school. Even today, we are going to do a major mop-up with our colleagues in Ministry of Interior to ensure that all our children are in school.
This morning, I think I have a list of about 1,500 where we want to try and find a way of ensuring that, again, that they go to school.
Kirinyaga County recorded 94% transition into secondary school, with Homa Bay County posting 75% transition by Monday. Laura Otieno.
All right. Now, this to me was on another level. It disturbed me in ways I can't explain. Mr. G, are you ready? I had Kamau. I think I'll be having him soon. But Mr. G, are you ready? All right. Seems to have lost him. But Captain, what do you make watoto zaidi ya 300,000 hawajaripoti shule? What do you make of such a statistic? 300,000.
We are breeding thugs and pickpockets in our country. That's what I can say. Do you remember, Jakes, what I told you last week, that waja shule zifunguliwe ndio utaona maajabu. Utaona wazazi wanakuja hapa kulia. Saa hizi ndio unaona media saa hizi wana report what they are reporting. I told you that because I knew where we are heading to, it was the worst. And this one now we are harvesting it now. Na bado hii sasa hii tu ni yani, what can I call it? Hii ni sasa hii. Inakuja yenyewe sasa, ambapo mtoto ameingia shule, hakuna chochote shule, hakuna maragwe, hakuna mahindi. Unaona? We are still fresh. Hata hatujamaliza like a month since shule zifunguliwe. Waje ile usahi labda wanatumia ile chakula.
Walifungua last week, yes. But this is the third week now. Yeah.
This is the third week. We are not even a month. And you have now seen the complaints. Naona mtoto atakuwa ametoka nyumbani, yes, ameingia shule. Ule mwalimu atakubali akijua labda mzazi atakuja maybe at the end of the month ataleta kitu. Na walimu baadaye watakuja kulalamika, tumeletea watoto hakuna chochote. Serikali imesema hakuna mtoto anafukuzwa nyumbani. Hata rais alisema juzi, amesema hakuna mtoto anatuma kwenda nyumbani. Serikali ya Kenya inagharamia kila kitu. Na serikali ya Kenya wakiwauliza wanaruka. So bado we are not right even to talk of like we are leaving our students to teachers without attending on them. Tunapatia wale walimu mzigo beyond even their capacity to handle it. It's very hard.
Lakini watoto 300,000 sio watoto wawili, hao watoto wengi sana.
Na kama
And I think, I don't know if umeona clip ya ule alijinyonga kwa sababu ya kukosa fees.
That is it. Tunajenga saa hii mzingi ya watoto wale tutakuwa nao ni wezi, pickpockets, chokora, nini yote. Unaona? Unaambia wewe Jex umetuma mtoto yako saa hizi. Labda ako class 7 ako class 8. Unamwambia baba work hard. Nataka marks mzuri. Hata amulali unamwambia fanya homework, fanya ile, fanya nini? Mtoto amekuja amekuletea A- hapo. Sasa unaanza kujikuna kichwa na nywele aishi. Visa haitoki. Serikali ndio ile imekuruka. CDF naye ndio hii tamba hapa. Haitoki, haijulikani itapeanwa. Unaona? Ule mtoto yeye amesema baba, nimedeliver yangu. Uliniambia ni work hard, ndio hii nimeleta. What next after this? What will you say, Jex? What will you say? You sometimes even some of us as parents tunaaibika sana. Mpaka sasa ndio unaona hata sisi wengine unakosa usingizi, hata tumekosa usingizi juu hakuna kazi ama tumekosa kuwa kazini ama nini. Kwa sababu we are trying to think what are we doing next for these kids. Nimeenda nimefanya shift yangu, nimerudi. Ni shift gani nyingine naweza ongezea? Nipate pesa ambapo mtoto wangu asome shule mzuri. We sometimes parents, we are giving our children a very hard task that they will deliver because most of our kids wanakuja na marks mzuri. Akishakuja na marks mzuri sasa unabaki tu kwa nyumba pale auongei. Wewe umwambie baba ndio hii nimeleta B+, B-. Nimeleta sijui ngapi. Sasa mimi naenda university. You need to scrutinize this thing in a very different level. You have to scrutinize in a different level.
And you're right. You're very right. Equally, I'm joined by SG Kamau, and Mr. G is still there, and many still watching and equally commenting hapo kwa comment section. Asante sana. Bwana SG, naona ukisalamiwa na good year, but how are you, Mr. SG Kamau?
Fantastic. How are you, bro?
I'm quite okay. Good to hear from you.
I'm happy to hear from you too. How is it going? What's happening? What is matters arising? Matters arising.
Tuko na vitu kibao, sijui tutaanza, wacha nipeleke tu na reng moja baada ya nyingine. Tutaanzia yenye umekuja discuss, alafu mwisho kabisa tutamalizia Martha Koome. Now, today I think you have listened to the clip I've just played. Over 300,000 children, our children, have yet to join Form 1. 300,000. It's actually not below, it's above 300,000 who are yet to join Form 1. Of course, there is one case they have shown, and there are even other cases. I don't know if you have seen the clip making round of the boy who killed himself because of lack of school fees and all. And the numbers are quite alarming. 300 is not a small number. 300, it's an 300K is the number at in terms of money, in terms of monetary terms. It's money you can do something with. No, I'm sure hapo nje unaweza pata hata kagari ka 300K. So it's not pesa kidogo. So when you talk about kids who are yet to report to Form 1, what do you make of it? And of course, this is a matter we have discussed of how challenging our economy has been, of how challenging our education sector will become because of the changes that have been brought, of course, with how we fund our education system. Capitation is not coming. CDF imechelewa, you know. The government is not releasing funds. Walimu wanaongeza fees left, right, and center. The economy is not doing well. Jobs are not easy to come about. So mzazi anaachwa na mtoi kwa hao. So we are having an instance where our children, if we are not careful, hawatakuwa wakienda shule. What comes to your heart when you have such figures flying around in the media?
You know, we do not know what is good and what is bad in this country. In fact, sometimes I wonder, are we cursed as a country? Because you're identifying a problem. And it seems even behind your mind or at the back of your mind, you know the solutions. or you know the solution. And I think many Kenyans are in that place where they see the problem, they are concerned about the problem, but it seems there is nobody solving the problem. Is it that we are that poor as a country that we cannot manage our education better? Is it because I was thinking, I've always wanted this government to fail in other sectors, but I mean, when it comes to education, I think that is destroying the future of this country. That's what I'm saying. Because and it doesn't concern anybody because we see the president and the government of UDA is busy without business. Do you know what I mean? Do you know you can be busy without
doing anything?
Yeah, you're busy all the time because I'm told that he wakes up at 4. He is one meeting after the other. Even I'm told he moves around the country like like a magnet. Yeah, happen apart. But you look at the activities vis-a-vis the achievement, then you are left dismayed. So what I'm trying to say in more simple language, so that Kip can understand me, and Mr. G, I know you have to break down. Is we are in a state of mark timing, but we are not marching forward. We are in motion, but not in movement. We are full of activity, but there's no achievement. That is exactly what is happening at the moment. So we are destroying the future of these children. I miss people like Makoha, to be frank. And every time I could watch the news and see Makoha in Kibera, wearing gumboots, trying to tell chiefs and everybody, please let the children go to school. We shall sort the issues of the school fees. I miss that. Now we have a character by the name of Mashogu. And I think, to me, the right word is Mchovu. The word, he should be called Amechoka. That is what I would tell you, because he seems clueless, rudderless, and out of touch with the reality. It is unfortunate, my brother, and I can tell you the reason why I'm saying we do not know what to pinpoint. I am always in the streets of Nairobi, and believe you me, I don't know whether you have passed through Uhuru Highway near the former Nyayo Stadium. Yeah. I know not former, but where there was a former Nakumat, and of course where the stadium is. Look at the people sleeping in that road. For the first time, there are so many people sleeping in town, CBD itself. Go to Westgate. My goodness, brother, we are in a deep problem. And this is what, and then what concerns the president is renovating State House. What concerns the president is a road that has been stopped in Mount Kenya, like in the a court order of a road near Jabini. Jesus, what is happening? And therefore, we are in a situation I cannot explain. I'm so ashamed to be a Kenyan today, ashamed to be a Kikuyu first of all, because it is these people, these Kikuyu people, who brought us where we are. It's not that when Uhuru was there, we can say it was at 100%, but I can tell you that was a government that was concerned, and that was a progressive government. When I say about motion and movement, that was a government in movement. We knew that each and every day we are recording. Look at Nairobi itself, city now. Kuna mashimo kubwa ya pothole ambao hata uwezi amini ni Nairobi. And hapa tunakimbilia mtu ati kwa sababu anakuanga na dimples. And because somebody has dimples and he speaks good English, Look at what Buddy did. Buddy was not even one of the natives of Kenya. He was general, but you could see Nairobi becoming a beautiful place. Anyway, to cut the long story short, education has been messed up within a year. And it has been messed up by an inept government. And that is why, leave alone the children that are at home, look at the exams, how they are being marked. So it is a wide range of problems in education sector. And it is concerning to so many people like me. To a point you feel like something must be done and has to be done. Because for the first time, we will feel like we are in the Nyayo era, where education was so expensive and many people never went to school. You remember guys who are born from 1978 to the days of Moi era ending, majority never went to school. It was never a concern to Moi. This is a replica of that government. And therefore,
all right.
Yes.
I wanted now to make you come to another topic, so that I bring in Alex for that part, the education. But quick question on education before to talk Apple. At one point, we almost saw 100% transition during Uhuru's time. This is a regime where 300,000, it's almost a constituency somewhere, not even one, several, a whole constituency. That's how huge 300,000 is. Are people not bothered with such things? Because personally, me, I feel concerned. I feel worried. SG.
People are bothered, but now what do you do when you have a government that is I don't know how to put it, but I think people maybe are waiting for Raila to tell them to go to the streets. This is the problem with the Kenyan mind. It's a very forgetful mind, and because of that forgetfulness, they suffer in silence. Today, I can tell you, the many people who are not
Okay, SG amefanya ile kitu na internet. SG, are you still with me? All right, but as SG is coming back, let me have Alex on this one. Alex, I don't know if you have listened to the clip I've just played now, of where over 300,000 students are yet to join Form 1 because of school fees and all. Hata bila kukupea story kibao, what do you make of such a figure?
We have a minister for education who is incompetent, unskillful, inexpert, and bubbling, clueless, ineffective, who does not know what he's doing. Remember, there was a time that Matiang'i could even say that let's look for kids who have not gone to school and make sure they have gone to school, meaning that they were they were able, they were experienced, they were skilled, they were prepared to make sure that our children go to school. But we have a minister for education who is unprincipled, unscrupulous, a person who does not even understand his word. You saw the story yesterday in Kisi, whereby a girl that was having a skin disease, who was, but the girl could speak very inept English, very good English, that was rescued by who? Our Minister for Education. So we are poorly, ineffective, unacceptable, inefficient, skeptical, incompetent, insufficient Minister for Education. Clueless, who does not even know. We are having cases now all over the country, whereby we are having kids going to the internet to ask for help. What the heck is that? How are we going to be like that? When you are a minister for education, you're supposed to be effective. You're supposed to be skillful. You're supposed to be apt. You're supposed to be qualified. You're supposed to be competent. You're supposed to be talented. You're supposed to be effectual. But now we have a minister for education who is keeping quiet for the first time. We are crying. Kids are coming out. There's one kid who in Kisi committed suicide.
Yes,
Did
I
you
saw
see
that.
that?
Yeah, I did.
So
Nivenye, some of these things we cannot play them here, Alex, because some of these things are so graphical that you don't want to play it here. But
no, spare my time, man. Play those things, man. Spare my time so that Kenyans can know. Don't even
a
play
child
that they're
takes their
graphical.
life,
There is no graphic there.
no,
We must show what our people are going. It's immoral.
when a child takes their life, is it even proper? A sound government, should it even, the first business, if you don't want to take care of the adults, then take care of the kids, because
But
that
I've
is the next
reproached and reproached that
generation.
you cannot understand. They don't care, man. Ruto is meeting with the Koome. That is what we are being told. Why kids are committing suicide. This is a rebuke. This is a child. This is admonish that we cannot even ignore. The incompetence that we are seeing is the ignorance of the highest level. That is what we call the law of incompetence.
One thing that equally even made, I think I sent you that, was a statement by one Nyamira leader who said, I will not give bursary to anyone who did not vote for me. I even asked myself, when this person will forever be in leadership? Because
you know, these people are hot and cold. They are near and far. They are tall and short. They are quiet and noisy. They destroy and create. They divide and unite. That is what is happening. You know, there's this point where when you become a leader, even I am scared, you become a different tribe. You become a totally different tribe. You're not a Kenyan anymore. They don't care. They can say anything.
When you listen to what this child was saying, because I want to play this, I think this is not as graphical, but let me play this for you, ladies and gentlemen. There is a child who committed suicide. And the story goes, sorry, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Sorry, I think I was slightly far. I'm saying I want to bring this video of this child. I don't know if this is the father. I think so. Yeah, I think now I have it. Allow me to play it for you. Let's listen in to what this child, I think this is the father, I'm not sure. Let's listen in and then we'll be able to judge from the clip. Okay, here we go.
Na huyu kijana ni mwanafunzi na alikuwa anajituma sana kwa kufanya masomo yake. Sasa na wazazi wake ni jirani yangu tu, anafanya kazi ya kuuza nyanya, hawana mapato mengine wanafanya. Ni hiyo biashara ya kuuza nyanya. Sasa ilikuwa siku ya Sunday kuamkia Monday. Ule mtoto sasa ndiye alikuwa anaitisha soksi ya kwenda shule. Mama yake akamwambia kulia, alafu ikikuwa Monday niende nikununulie hiyo soksi waende shule. Sasa mama yake aliamka asubuhi, akaita yule kijana, akapata tu mwingine anaendelea kuongea, akaona tu kitu atafanya, wacha tu amwache, labda anaweza kuwa ni ile hasira, akafungulia redio, akamwambia tu wacha nikimbie nikununulie hiyo soksi siku ya Jumanne ndio aende shule. Sasa mama yake alienda kununua hiyo soksi, akarudi, baadaye akarudi. Akauliza sister yake, huyo mtoto alikuwa amelala hapo, ameamka? Akamwambia bado hajatoka kwa nyumba, mimi nasikia redio ndio naendelea tu kucheza. Mama yake akamwambia hapana. Sasa kitu utafanya, muambie nimemletea hiyo soksi afungue nyumba.
Tuenda kuwanga mlango imefungwa sana, lakini tukapika mpaka tukapomoa. Wakati tulipomoa tulikuta yeye ametiangi na hii nini kamba ya kinyolini hii ya net. Sasa bila alikuwa anakiwekea hiyo kitu bila alipanda mpaka akafunga tu. Kilikasa yeye hapa mpaka tukwenda kufungua sisi yaani tuenda kufungua mlango tukakuta mtu anakiangi. Sasa hiyo kitu kimekaa hapa kabisa hiyo kamba. Haramu Mugambi akakuja siku hiyo. Mugambi akaangalia tayari alistuka sana. Akasema mtu asimkuse, msifanye chochote. Wacha niende niite nini polisi wakuje waangalie, waandike Kenya wanaandika wafanye nini. Ndio atolewa hapa wenyewe wamtoe peke yao, sio nyinyi. Wakakuja wakabeba panga, wakaenda kufungua wakashindwa, hata maaskari walishindwa.
Mama yake aliniambia ni 20,000. Hiyo ni 22 ilikuwa inahitajika waende shule. Sasa sio hata yeye pekee alikuwa anaenda. Na kuna msichana anamfuata kutoka nyuma na yeye alikuwa na choi. Sasa walikuwa wanaenda wawili. Sasa mama yake ndiye akaona wacha tu Sharifu akipata hata 10 aone kama atasaidia huyo mwingine aende na 10,000 na huyo mwingine 10,000. Waendelee kuchoi kwa sura ndiye.
Alex, that boy took his life for 20,000. The fee was only 20K. But because yeye ndo alikuwa anaanza alafu sister anamfuata, akaona acha tu ajitoe. The sad story that someone chooses to die because hakuna fee. You know, that level of hopelessness, that you have no hope. There is no hope. You look at your home, poverty is almost shouting your name. So the only thing that makes sense is hanging yourself. So for 20K, that young man chose to hang himself. Really. And the stories are unending. Last week I saw girls wakihojiwa on, and at times it's even, I don't know, a whole CS and anyone else. When you help someone, must you take a photo? I've given you like a small bursary, but we have to have it on public TV, have photos about it, and showcase a whole theatrical form of messaging where how we are helping our students. But we are having such cases. 300,000 are yet to join Form 1. What do you make of it? Really, as a nation, what are we becoming?
Bernard, we have degenerated. Nefariousness. That is what is on. Even the poor need dignity when you are giving them something. When you are giving them something, you don't have to showcase it. Let me repeat it. Even the poor needs dignity when you are giving them something. This is Nani Jakes. This is chinery. This is crookedness. This is crookery. We cannot allow such kind of things that where now the leaders are taking advantage of the poverty of the people. You know, antisocial personality disorder. That is what these people have become. In sociology, that's what antisocial personality disorder, because they seem not to have a moral compass. These individuals act as though they neither have a sense of nor care about right or wrong. Not surprisingly, these people represent a serious problem for others. They are not looking at, they are showcasing. But if you look at the young people who are now showing these cases, especially like this young girl called Cyprian, and I think her so much, she has a strong match, you know, because she's bringing the weak, predominant tama, triangular, trichomic into the society, so that people can understand that there is so much poverty. Ruto economic policies have destroyed this country. Hata kama unataka kumtetea aje, we are not going to agree. You know, you're looking at these things and you're wondering, what is left? Why do a young man take his life because he can't go to school? And Ruto is sitting and he's talking with Koome. What they are talking is nonsensical, waffling. And our children are suffering out here. It is an economic crisis, educational economic crisis. Right? Shouldn't even go. This boy, look, this one, me and Bernard today, we were looking at them and we sent Cyprian
Cyprian, the one who has that channel, to go there tomorrow morning and make sure that her sister does not commit suicide too, because we heard that she has a sister who is also supposed to go to Form 1. It made me call there, and I got the phone, but I also want to send it to Cyprian so that she can go there and do a proper interview, like the interview she did with the young girl that Simba Arati helped, so that we can know that brother yaka may commit suicide. Are you going to feel yourself? You may commit suicide too. This is economic crisis of inept, incompetent, unreasonable people being put into CS where they don't understand their jobs. The capitation during Matiang'i was 22,000. During Ruto time, it came to 4,000, 12,000. And now they have given school only 4,000. Tell me how these children, there were other 2 children that we were looking that went to Kanga. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
Yani suruali imepasuka, nguo imepasuka, hakuna kitu kwa box, wanalia. One of them was helped. And we had to rescue another one. I had to pay fees for another one. Because of, I don't know, Ruto, I don't know what UD mbona wako hapa leo. This is nonsensical waffling. We have destroyed the social fabric of education. Ata Moi was a dictator, but he kept education near to him. Even when we used to have strikes, remember during Okumu's time, Okumu used to be the secretary for NAT. So Sion just came the other day. But they could negotiate. Our children could go to school. Now our children are taking their lives off. Tell me, Mr. Gates. Tell me, Mr. Gates. Where are we headed to? Yeah? Where are we headed to? Is it an era whereby our children are killing each other? It's unacceptable. I mean, Jax, the moderator, we need to do something more than that. We must shout the rooftops and say, look, no, kill the politicians, kill anybody, but not our children who are going to secondary.
Yeah, there, I have an opinion. Our children are our priority. Mr. G, what do you make about our education system, the alarming number of kids who are yet to join high school?
You know, Jax, it is a sad moment when you find a small children just killing themselves because of their education, and yet we know that in the regime of Kenyatta, some of them are just going to school free. Nini li happen? What exactly happened ambayo inafanya mpaka inafikia wakati wanafunzi wanaanza kujua kwa sababu wameshindwa kupata pesa? I think we are in a wrong regime. That's why we are calling for revolution. Because education is the key to anything. Hiyo ndio kitu ambacho tunafaa tuweke kama first priority in everything that we do. But sasa ikifika mahali somebody comes to the power, alafu anaona ni kama education is not anything to him, anataka kutuharibia, wanafunzi waumie, wazazi waumie, kila mtu aumie, then we are on a wrong regime. That's why we are calling for revolution. So this government imeshindwa kuraniwa na huyu mtu, ameshindwa. He doesn't care of anything.
And even before we get to revolution, is there something that can be done? Because it's sickening when you think about a child anakosa shule kwa sababu ya funny policies, and utasikia mtu anataka kuongezewa mshahara, anunuliwe another V8, ajengewe another house, aongezewe more madarakas, more money, and there's a child who hatapata elimu kwa sababu of our choices. Hey, that is where you feel some hair mahali fulani hata wazimei zina, you know, because how do some of these leaders sleep with themselves? Like, how do they even get sleep? You know, there's a child amejinyonga juu. All right, I don't want to even dwell on that matter for quite longer than I have, but it's sickening. it's not even godly. Ni god ngani tunaserve mwenye children kill themselves for our wrong choices? Huh? I even don't think that is a godly
Education
thing.
should be free, totally free. There should be no way. Hata baba wakati alikuwa ana campaign during his manifesto, he said several times that it will be free. It will be free. I know where the money comes from. It will be free. Now see, we have a leader who really does not care. I'm telling you, these people are shankantaras. I mean, they are tantalizing. I mean, ukiona when they go to a meeting, how the V8 they use. I mean, the planes. Now we have a CS that has bought 4 choppers. I heard that. I don't know how true that is. 4 choppers within 1 year. 4 choppers. Takes 4 choppers within 1 year. How can you even explain that?
You know, I think they take us for granted because sababu Kenyans they are a resilient nation. Somehow we'll take care of ourselves. We'll changa for some of these kids. We'll through goodwill we'll take them to school. I even saw Eric Omondi helping build a bridge. And I almost asked myself, it's a constituency in another county with a governor, an
That was in
MP, an
Kisi.
MCA. And in Kisi,
That was
I
in
think it's in
Kisi.
Kisi.
Yeah, he came to Kisi.
And today he was doing a live collecting money. A mere man, through people, has been able to do a bridge. Yet us, through our taxes, a whole MP, hiyo bridge anaijua. And I'm sure maybe someday mwenye ajulikanagi aliangua kwa hiyo maji na akabebwa. Maybe people have not found that, or the bodies or the remains of the person haven't been found. But it's a very risky bridge. Mpaka wa leo Simba Arati, the MP for that area, I'm even not sure of the MP for that area, the MCA, alisema I don't have money from the government, I don't have money from it, but nitauza V8 yangu moja yangu nijenge hii bridge because sina
No, what is
pesa.
happening?
Let's
Let me
imagine
tell
they have
you,
never had money.
what is happening in Kisi is very unfortunate. The fight of Osoro and Simba Arati have totally brought us back. And they are fighting Simba because they want him either to come to UDA or to exit. And Simba Arati has stuck his foot in the cement and said he's staying in ODM. He was elected in ODM. He has to stay in ODM. So they are distracting him. So the guy is not being able to do his job properly. But you know what? He had funds, and the first priority was the health sector. So the only money they gave him, he put the health sector first because there were no medications. There was a lot of stealing in KTRH level 6. And you know what he did? He see the loopholes. We used to earn only 40 million. Now we are earning almost 200 million from KTHL. See, when politicians decide to fight, they disrupt the establishment. And when the establishment wants to help people, we make useless the whole process. And that is what is happening in Kif, that the UDA government has decided to fight just Simba Arati. It's not like Simba Arati does not have money. Simba Arati has no time to work because Osoro, when he goes anywhere, is being fought. He's being fought by Onyonka, nonsensically, Donya, the women rep, and others for no apparent reason. But you know what? The people on the ground love Simba Arati like crazy. Today was somewhere, he gave out the mother of that child who had a problem was taken to the hospital because alikuwa amekuwa nini kipofu. And these are cataracts, just cataracts. She's going to be removed cataracts, aanze kuona. The poverty is killing people. NHIF is not working. You take NHIF to the hospitals, they refuse it. What kind of society is this? And the president knows that NHIF, people are dying for no apparent reason.
Mr. G, go on.
Alex, I just want you to comment on there's a governor in your side in Kisii ambaye amesema hatapatiana basari kwa sababu ya hatapatia mtu yoyote ambaye hakumpigia kura basari. Sijui kama umesikia hiyo story.
I heard that, but that hiyo ni ujinga. We don't listen to that.
Yeah, is it Nyamira? I think there's a county known as Nyamira, right?
Yeah, it's called Nyariro.
Yes, he's the one who replaced the guy who died,
and
then he was re-elected. Yes, Nyagarama. Now, he says that he won't give bursary to those who didn't vote for him. So what happens to those kids whose parents? Kwanza, question is, hii pesa anapea wazazi ama watoto? Itafaidi mzazi ama mtoto? So what is he even doing? If the question becomes, if the children fail to get proper education, eventually they will, in Kenya, they will still manage watafika huko mbele, wanaweza enda hata wawe madaktari. God has a way. And then this able governor, wacha tuombe Mungu asigonjeke. His girlfriend, his wife, his daughter, his son, his someone agonjeke. I don't even want to go there.
I think, Mr. Jakes, there's a lot of confusion that even we can't express. Yeah, there's a lot of confusion. How can just a governor asimame anasema he cannot give bursary, and yet here tunaambiwa kuna watoto wanajiua kwa sababu wameshindwa kupata pesa kwenda shuleni.
Na ujue ni the same, it's just the neighboring county. It's the neighboring county yenye mtoto amejiua kwa sababu ya kukosa fees, and here is a whole governor who is saying, you know what, if you didn't, and I think one time Osoro said such a thing. He said, kama hamtanipigia kura, I will still not give you bursaries. I don't know what wisdom that is. I don't even need to call it wisdom, or because how do you even connect school fees or bursaries for kids and educate? How bursary for kids? Na hii si pesa yako kwanza, hii ni pesa ya Wakenya ya ushuru umepewa. It's not your pocket money, it's not your income, it's not your salary, it's not money from your sweat. This is money from Kenyan taxpayers. And then you are there saying since hatukukupea au kutupea kura, hatutakupea, what do you call this, hatutakupea nitwaje, hatutakupa bursary. I think someone should even take this guy to court, because our courts need to define what a bursary should be, because I don't think you should be discriminated from getting your rights like that. I don't think you should.
But now, Jakes, now our courts are full of corruption. Tutasaidika vipi? Because this is the issue that we have been talking about. People are suffering. Things are not working in our country. And you find that these people, even they don't care of what people are going through. The president himself doesn't care of what people are going through. Angalia sasa watoto tunajua. Somebody anasimama anasema hatapatiana basari. Kwa sababu gani? Kwa sababu mtu hakumvotia. So, where are we heading? And when we talk about revolution, watu wengine wanakasirika. Wataka kusikia ukiongea mambo ya revolution. When we talk about looking for other good leaders from wanaweza tusaidia, no one want to listen to us. Wanaona ni kama tumekuwa, yani kama tunapiga kelele. You see, sasa tutasaidika vipi kwa hii Kenya ambayo? It comes a time that you decide to stand with the truth. These are not leaders. Mtu kama huyu, look at what he said. This is not a leader. Because if you can destroy life of a child at this moment sahi, na wakati maisha iko ngumu hivi, who will be our leaders tomorrow wakati tumeshazeeka? Who will be the leaders of our country? You want to irritate people to take the seats? Watu kama nini? Hata vitu zingine tunashindwa kuongea. Yes, tuko mahali tumefikia mahali pabaya. Mahali ambapo tumefikia is a very bad and a very pathetic situation about tuko sahi.
Now, the final topic I want us to look at, and this one, it took me back ya ile story ya hii ni serikali ya ma-shareholders. Kama wewe si shareholders, ashana naye. Kama wewe si shareholder, usijisumbue. And at one point, I thought it was a joke until a report has come out showing that truly Kenya, some communities are not represented in as much as they would want to be in appointive jobs, elective jobs, and equally employment. As I'm about to show you, in Kenya, seriously, marginalization happens in almost all sectors. Here is what is happening in our labor market and how people have been employed here in Kenya. I want you to listen to this clip, and this is what we will wrap up with here in the show. Listen in, and we'll be back to discuss this.
Out of the 46 ethnic communities in Kenya have the highest number of jobs in the public service. That's according to a report by the government employer, the Public Service Commission. The report showing that the Kikuyu and Kalenjin communities took up more positions in the public service, followed by Kisii and Luo communities, leaving some other smaller communities as either unrepresented, grossly unrepresented, and not represented at all. As Chemutai Goin reports, the public service urged government organizations to revive its hiring framework to ensure that the spirit of inclusion is felt and that persons with disabilities who have seemingly been overlooked are considered.
Though Article 232 of the 2010 Constitution demands that the public service must be representative of the diverse Kenyan communities with adequate and equal opportunity in appointment, training and growth at all levels of the public service, not leaving behind persons with disabilities. Year in, year out, the report of the Public Service Commission continues to display evidence of what could be termed politics of ethnicity and exclusion. In the latest report covering the 2022-2023 financial year, PSC avers that out of the 46 ethnic communities recorded in Kenya, 35 out of 44 had normal representation in the public service. However, there were some that served up a bigger chunk of the cake. Once again, the Kikuyu and Kalenjin communities top the charts classified as grossly overrepresented, meaning the numbers exceeded their recorded national size quota, followed closely by Kisii and Luo communities termed as overrepresented. The Maasai, Turkana, Luya and Mijikenda, on the other hand, not forming part of those with normal representation, as according to PSC statistics, they were underrepresented. The Kenyan Somali community, whose influence is being felt in many parts of the country, was still, however, yet to hit the mark, being classified as grossly underrepresented. At the bottom of the barrel is the Kenyan American and Dahalo communities, who are not represented in the public service. The report also sounding an alarm over the poor representation of persons with disabilities, as the 5% threshold was yet to be met in various government entities. The Commission also reviewed non-competitive appointments made in the 2022-2023 financial year, which saw a little over 1,000 officers recruited, 10 of these representing a paltry 0.8%, being persons with disabilities. The top communities representing between 21.8% and 2.1%, being the Kalenjin, Kikuyu, Luo, Luya, Kamba, Meru, Kisii, Maasai, Taita, and Mijikenda. The report further showing there were 250 officers appointed as personal staff in the Office of the Deputy President and advisors to Cabinet Secretaries. The breakdown of the communities of origin is, however, not shared. It is also noted that state corporations and sagas accounted for the highest number of officers recruited non-competitively at 466, followed by ministries and state departments with 290 officers. Noting that many organizations were yet to appropriately grasp the principle of non-competitive recruitment, which was now prone to abuse, PSC recommends that all public organizations comply with the requirement of fair competition and merit. The issue of inclusion has been a hot political subject, and despite President William Ruto constantly stating that his administration will not discriminate any part of the country, irrespective of its political choices, it is his deputy's shareholding remarks that dominate conversations, as it insinuates that government-friendly communities will be given the utmost priority. Chemutai going.
Now, Balaji, really, when you look at such statistics, at what point will you and me, whose communities probably are not close to that of the president or the deputy, at what point will our communities, because I'm not saying we should be employed because of our communities, but at what point will some communities feel represented, either in government or even employment-wise? Is it only a certain community that should occupy a certain office, even though others are not even qualified for this office, but simply because my name, my language is similar to the MD, to the GM, to the people hiring, then I qualify for the job? Is that what they should look at in our CVs? And this in employment, I'm sure that tukienda kwa majeshi and police, I think one time I did that, and we were able to see even those in our police force and armed forces, the tribes that are there, some tribes, they had even less than 100. So what do you make of such exposés?
You know, Mr. Jakes, this is Kenya, where these leaders just told us that in nchi ya watu, how do you, shareholders, this is what we were told. You know why I love Raila? Raila has been advocating for the voice, even for that person ambaye hajulikani. Kila wakati amekuwa akisimama Raila, when he talks of tearing all those people ambao huwa wanachukiwa kwa sababu ya majina zao. Many times akisimama utaona anasema kwa ukienda mahali unapata mtu apewi kazi kwa sababu ya jina yake, mtu apewi kazi kwa sababu ya mahali ambapo anatoka. But for him alikuwa anasema in case achukue kiti, he will make inclusive each and every person in Kenya to belong to it, and every person will feel belonging to this country. That's why I love Raila. But these other guys, the leadership is bad. Mtu kama Rigathi Gachagua anasimama mbele ya mtu ya watu, he just said that this country, kama haukuvote hakuna kitu utapata. Hii ni wakati wetu wa kuvuna. This is what Rigathi Gachagua was telling us. Now, if this is the how do you call it? If this is the way the country should be run, then watu wengine tunafuata kutoka kwa country, because we will never receive what we want. We will never receive the benefits of this country. As much as tunakatwa taxes kila kona, tunakata taxes kila mahali, but still you cannot enjoy what we deserve to enjoy as Kenyans. Hata kazi peke yake kupata, unaangaliwa jina lako ndio upewe kazi. When we will have these leaders ambao watatujali? Earlier on we talked about the issue of nomination. We saw many times Baba alikuwa akinominate watu, going ahead and nominate mtu kule kwa nchi, kwa county kama Kalenjin county, unapata Baba alikuwa akiingia na chukua mtu pale ana nominate from Central Kenya, ana nominate. But these guys wakifika pale wanaanza kumtusi. Look at this guy who is 00 Isaac Maura. Isaac Maura was got by Baba because of his skin and what at the nature of his life. But look at what he's doing. Kila mara ambapo akitusi Baba. What am I trying to say? I'm going to say that Baba has been amekuwa inclusive and amekuwa kijali watu sana, na alikuwa akitaka kila mtu aonekane kuwa anastahili kuishi kwa this country. But watu wamemdisrespect sana. And yet if you look at Baba clearly, you find that this is a guy ambaye ametakia Kenya mambo mazuri. Baba ametakia Kenya mambo mazuri, but people because of just hate walimchukia bila sababu, na wakakosa a good leader ambaye angetutoa kwa hiyo shimo ambao tuko. That's why sasa tumebaki pale pale. Yeah, we don't see light any near. There's no light. Wale ambao wako ni wale watu ambao wanataka kutuangamiza, taxing us every corner, and yet we cannot enjoy the fruits of our taxes. Look at what happened juzi kwa pale Ghana. Ghana is a country ambayo imekuwa na matatizo mengi, but that president amesema, sijui kama unaona hii clip ya juzi ametoa taxes kwa everything, almost everything ametoa taxes. Akamwambia this taxes zinaharibu, zinasumbua business, zinasumbua investors, hatuwezi endelea kuumiza investors wetu. Akatoa taxes zote ili kila mtu apate freedom ya kufanya business pale na country iweze kugrow. But here na Kenya we are being told that we have to be taxed every corner ndio tutengeneze economy. Economy itatengenezwa vipi wakati hata sasa hivi wakati wana collect those taxes ndio sasa hata pesa ambayo wana collect pale kwa KRA inakuwa kidogo sasa. When will our economy grow? Ikiwa this is the life ambayo tunaendelea kuwa nayo. There's no day to enjoy until we have best and people who cares for our own citizen in Kenya. Watu ambao wanatujali, like Baba being one of them. How to succeed if we cannot get such leaders? Back to you, Mr. Jakes.
All right. Now, I want you to give me your closing remarks. We are 2 minutes to time. Now, tell me, what do you make of all that we have discussed? Where are we headed even as a country?
You know, Mr. Jakes, I will just remain with what I believe in. We need to have good leaders, people who cares for Kenya, people who cares who anyone that lives in Kenya, despite of where they come from. Awe anatoka Central Kenya, awe anatoka Nyanza, awe anatoka Ubaliana ama Coast. We need to love each other as Kenyans, and we need to go and elect leaders ambao wataweza kutusaidia. We should not go electing people because of ethnic. This is why we are going back choosing people ambao wanaturudisha mahali ambao tulikuwa tumetoka kitambo. Kama sasa angalia, we are being forced to go back to where we were enzi za Moi, whereby every institution imekuwa ani kila kitu inakuwa ni kwa state house, everything kwa state house, mpaka sasa judges pia wanaitwa state house. Why are they being called to state house? Kupewa maagizo because wanataka kucontrol everything. Impunity kiendelea, wasiwe na mtu yote anaweza kuwa control. So my closing remark is that Kenyans should wake up. Just wake up and go for the leaders who can take us out of this oppression that we are in. We are in bondage. We are in oppression whereby we need some leaders who care for us, who can remove us from this bondage that we are in. But the current leaders, they will never remove us from this bondage. Vigumu vina watatutoa kwa sababu wanataka kunyakulia. Somebody anavaa belt ya millions of money, just a belt, millions of money, na huku watoto wanajua kwa sababu amekosa karo ya shilingi 20,000 ama 15,000. Mtoto anajua, and somebody is going there ananunua mshipi ya milioni 5, milioni 6, milioni 20, anavaa viatu shilingi milioni ngapi, anavaa sijingo ya milioni ngapi, na amekuwa kwa government less than 2 years. Mahali tumefika ni mahali pabaya sana. Yeah, tumefika mahali pabaya, and then you find people wanakuja wanaanza kuongelesha kama hatujui nini tunasema. The current situation in Kenya is worse. In fact, in Kenya tumekuwa ranked among the top people ambao wanapitia hardship, among the top people who are suffering in the world. Kenyans here, sisi wa Kenya, whereby on every 10 shillings ambao unapata 7 goes to pay loan, goes to debit, unabaki na only 3 bob. This is a country where kupata food iko more than 50% of your earning. So lini tutai succeed? Tuliambiwa kwa economy iko sawa, tukadanganya kwa economy iko sawa. Economy iko sawa wapi? Tukadanganya kwa G2G inakuja kusaidia dola ishuke chini. Lini dola imeshuka chini? Dola inaenda kupanda sasa iko 160 something. So are we doing good or we are doing bad? At this moment tumefika ni mbaya sana. Yeah, that's why I'm still calling for revolution. I'm calling just for revolution. We need to go back to revolution. Back to
all right. Yeah. All right. I want to play a throwback song, but before I do that, I want to do something. I want to do this. I want to really wish you guys a fantastic day, fantastic morning. Thank you for joining us this fine evening. We had a great conversation, of course, with my great panelists, Akina Alex, Mr. G, and many who equally joined me. Asante tu sana. Thank you guys for always being there for us and equally for this show. And equally you, viewers, asanteni tu sana. You guys are the reason we do this. I saw Victor Sawe akituma ujumbe, asante sana. Nasema what? That the president is trying to lead through dialogue, diplomacy, and being civilized. Let me just project some of what you guys are saying up in the comment section. This is Victor Sawe. Victor Sawe is saying that the president is trying to lead through dialogue, diplomacy, and being civilized with the judiciary. Compare that to Raila leading a 1 million march to judiciary, violence and tantrums. All right. That is, what do you call it? That is Victor Sawe. Geoffrey Ruto said that the country is headed on the right direction. The pain we have right now is what we enjoyed during Uhuru regime. Let's pay back the loans we ate through subsidizing consumption. It's not easy. That's what Geoffrey Ruto is saying. And who else? There are many comments, Nikki Bao. I see Goodia pia alisema ya kwamba in the real world there are some people who love to take their kids in private schools for class reasons, but why can't the government have a body which can help the parents who can't afford for their kids? Among many other sentiments that came from you guys, and equally they were lovely, they were wonderful, and I'm grateful for your sentiments. Asante sana kwa maoni yenyu, asante sana kwa jinsi you guys always participate in this show. We don't take it for granted. You are the guys that make this happen. You are the guys that make this show happen. Asante sana kwa kuwa part of this show. I want to leave you with a song that you came to love. This song was done and it really hit the airwaves in a nice way. It slapped. Hii song ili slap. Hii song ilikuwa one of a kind. Ilikuwa song moja fiti. Ilikuwa song moja ya kishua. Tuliipenda, tulienzi, tulidhamini sana. Hii song muliipenda wadau. Hii song muliipenda na ni song fiti. And for me, it's the message in it that really speaks to many of us. All right. So I'll leave you with that. But hey, before I leave, there is another show coming up in the morning from 9 a.m. 9 a.m. Kindly join us as we have another great show here at Africa 24. Hiyo show inakuwa kali. Leo ilikuwa fiti, ilikuwa moto. Yeah. So to see what happened today in the morning. So kimbia tu hapo Africa. Angalia what happened. We had a nice conversation Apple in the morning. We had great panelists. We had great topics discussed there kwa hiyo show ya asubuhi. Tomorrow morning as well, we have another one, a good one, a better one. We look at the newspapers. We look at news-making headlines. We discuss different topics as they happen here in Kenya and even away from Kenya, because we look at other countries and other places, especially in Africa, that make the news and anything that makes headlines. So what do? Kesho tukutane asubuhi na mapema saa 3 Kenyan time. I'm sure it will be quite early in the morning or quite late at night in your country, but kindly make time for us and let us have a good time. To Goodia and many of you who participated kwa comment section, asante sana. For you ambao umesubscribe to Africa 24, asante sana. Wewe bado ambao hujasubscribe, kimbia hapo kwa YouTube, subscribe to Africa 24. Make this your #1 channel for things related to what we have discussed and many others. Kuna vitu kali kule ndani, kimbia kule ndani and be part of the growing family of Africa. Thank you so much for being part of this great conversation. All right, see tuonane. I leave you with this one and where I hope it will slap. Ni ya kitambo lakini kwangu the message haijazeeka. Goodbye, good night, good morning.
Niishi peke yangu, kwani ninapomwamini kila binadamu mwishowe ananijibu mini mkunga, mzalishie mtoto baada miezi 9. Mkunga anamgeukia mtoto, anamgeuzia, nikihaso juu chini ili nivuke boda. Wananigeukia, 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 nimtazame nani, nimwamini nani, nani. Wananigeukia, vigeugeu, vigeugeu, vigeugeu. Wananigeukia, nimtazame nani, nimwamini nani, nani. Wananigeukia, vigeugeu, vigeugeu, vigeugeu. Wananigeukia. Ninampasa kupona kupona kusabi, nikihaso juu chini ili nivuke boda.